corn dog? Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that was Julie going live.
They're doing it now live.
Okay. You shut up.
Live from the dungeon.
You shut up.
No.
We should probably get my character sheet up, eh? That might be a good idea.
It might help. Unless you got a memory.
I mean, I could be that smart, but I'm not. Oh yeah, your new light bulb.
No?
Do not stare straight at that light bulb.
This is not that bulb.
Stare
right
at
No.
Stare right at
No, I was going to get
that's...
some of those, but this is just a kicker.
Ooh.
Just a little spotlight to the back.
Actually, yeah, no, Best Buy sold out of those ones.
Really?
I bought their last one, so it was what it was.
D&D Beyond is having a fit right now.
Is it?
Having a fit.
I
kind of had a question about that. Because I leveled up to level 3 and did all the stuff on the app and what have you, but now I have 2 Hellish Rebukes. I don't think I'm supposed to have 2.
No, you have Hellish Rebuke.
Yeah, but it's up twice as 2 different spells.
Because it's a second
Oh, no,
level?
Probably casting.
Yeah, one's the
as
first level,
or
and
second.
one looks like.
Oh, and then the other one's just...
It's like using it as a first or a second slot, right?
I think so. I mean, I don't play characters too often, so
I think
it's my
one
best
of them
guess.
might be.
Well, that's how mine is. One, it's like 2 spells, but you can use them
Yeah.
But
as the first slot or the
did you,
second slot. One has more damage.
when you took it,
So I'm level 4, but I'm not yet because I
your
haven't
class
leveled up.
that's
Because I figured I'd wait till
Yeah.
I
thing,
actually
it might have came with it.
Oh,
That
nice.
might be why.
Oh, okay, that
Like-
could explain.
Like for instance, like some classes
Alright, well, that's
you
good.
choose
Confusing
which
stuff.
path you
I'm
want
level
to
4,
take,
but
and
I'm
it
not
comes
yet.
with some spells in it.
So
But then you might have already taken it,
Level
and then
5
because that
insane
class
stuff
specific
starts to happen with
Right.
path you took has that as third level. You get Hellish Rebuke and say Misty Step. But if you had already chosen Hellish Rebuke from
Then
levels
it's
1 to
just
2,
like, hey, you got it.
yeah,
Okay.
so you can
Okay.
Well, you're wearing more clothes than
Oh, yeah, we can fix that. That's easy.
She's the one that should be overheating because the sun goes.
So there's only
True. I might be just emitting heat on
Did
you.
you get a
Path
little
in the
cooked?
dome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Hellish
Oh, I
Rebuke might
see.
have been
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
You're a warlock, you said?
Yeah.
Fires pants, then count the ice. Aww,
Huh?
that's cute.
Hang on. That's hilarious. Let me see if I can find a photo of a shirt that I have that seems similarly themed.
Yeah, you're wearing pants.
Yeah, some.
Not for long. It's so fucking
You said
hot.
warlock, right?
Take them off.
Yeah, when the curtain drop, hopefully that cools down a little bit of airflow. That's fine. Looking at the air conditioner, it's like, should I grab one? And so I go to the closet and down the other exit. And then it was muggy as fuck. Come game time. So my poor judgment is to blame for your discomfort. That and wanting to spend $300, $400, $500 on an air conditioner right now.
Yeah.
Oh, so no more they shoot.
Yeah.
I wish I could find them. Actually, even Princess Auto was $400 one. They just know their market. You're dying to keep one air
The
conditioner.
marketing people did this.
Buzz the bee?
That seems like real. That is like actually from them. That's not some knockoff or Chinese thing. That was from the cereal box.
No way.
From cereal?
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe their marketing people did that because I didn't get like in shit. Really? That's benign?
It's not like it's saying take off your pants. Yeah, it's just saying it's okay to not have pants. That's
I
alright.
have a shirt that says coming is fun.
Nice.
It's really just about spelling at that point. I refuse to comment any further than that.
That was to you.
All presents in my closet. I have nothing.
Movies make me smile.
I have no idea. Yeah, exactly. It's right there.
It makes the people on there smile and then the best pizza.
Actually, on the second floor. I want a second floor. We'll do this sort of thing. Nice and simple. Okay. Cool. And dish for gold.
Nice.
All right. There's an accumulation of minis everywhere. That's quick.
all from Friday?
Yeah, it's all left over. I was kind of trying to set up in here, and there was like a lot to do with everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all up.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I've tested out the markers. They work really well. Orange, obviously, works the best.
Yeah.
It is what it is that way. Green works pretty good, too.
Yeah. You hot?
My mom.
A little bit, you know. I'm feeling it.
She's in,
And then I just sweat in general, so I mean, I peel in orange.
Parkersville. Parkersville.
Do they
all right.
actually work?
So,
Can you play the bagpipes?
I used to be able to.
Oh my god! Teach us how.
This is disturbing.
is this gonna happen?
No.
This is a Canadian tradition, you just sit down there. Do it!
Wait, what the heck?
It actually kind of suits
It's gonna be a magical fucking moment right here.
And
The bagpipes suit the white guy? You don't say.
Yeah.
Wow.
No way.
Oh, right.
Is it broken?
I can't play Amazing Grace song though.
That's awesome.
The bottom two holes are actually supposed to be double holes,
Yeah.
but they're only single hole on that. They're only like toy bagpipes.
Right. Yeah.
Toy bagpipes are pretty good quality for toys.
That's awesome. Wow. I'm impressed.
That's badass. Hold on,
Like, I
hold on.
don't have an actual set of bagpipes, but I have two chanters at home, which is just like the high part of the bagpipes.
Yeah.
Nice.
The things I'm learning about bagpipes just sitting here.
Well, you know, we had a conversation about that earlier. The other day.
The things I'm learning from you? Just sitting here?
Bagpipes.
Oh, yeah, Joe.
Gyres.
I have way too many.
I'm not touching that conversation. I'm not going there. Or don't run that kind of stream.
Oreos? You want Oreos?
Maybe the internet, but it's not that much internet in here.
Here you go. Give some to Mom too.
Not yet, anyway. Alright.
I was
Holy
very
crap,
tempted
a lot
to
of
just go home. Home? Yeah. And just eat it.
Alright. And go to that.
Oh! Got mache.
That one too.
Yes. One more?
I'm good at the moment. I gotta get the show on the road. Well, I got 3 hours. We're gonna make some
Yeah.
time.
Shit.
I'm the biggest
Thank you.
Red Bull for you.
Yeah, that's DM size, that's for sure. It's at least about 5-10 minutes worth of Red Bull here. It's good.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You go through them a lot.
I do, actually. No two ways about that. I am
No.
down a console.
What?
There we go. I am now up a console.
Oh.
Easily so.
What did I
That's really what I should have fucking grabbed is a new keyboard while I was at Best Buy.
You see that Tom Hanks is becoming frickin'
Mr. Rogers, yeah, it's been going on for a while.
fucking ruins it.
But think about
I hate Tom
just
Hanks.
I ask you this. I don't hate Tom Hanks. I mean, I'm biased that way. I love Tom Hanks.
Sir, commodity computer hardware. Just
Like
let me
this-
know.
Oh, hang on. I wasn't gonna argue for that.
Top 4
I was gonna
keyboards.
say, who would you rather?
Mr. Rogers?
Like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, Mr.
Yeah.
Rogers?
What celebrity, what Hollywood actor would you trust other than Tom Hanks? He doesn't do the best portrayal from what I've seen in the trailer, but then, I mean, who can really portray Fred fucking Rogers?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh.
No, I should have fucking
I
thought.
want the dude from
Should be
John
burned from
Goodman
history.
Dead. I love it.
Good lord, man! You and Fox News, what the shit?
I'm sorry.
Oh, dude, please don't. That's my hero. Easy, easy. Please don't do that. I don't want to go there.
Might I have a glass? I have a hole in my jug.
Oh, yeah.
It's called a nipple.
No, it's all piercing.
Leslie Nielsen?
From Naked Gun? Actually, he was a serious actor.
They have to be like creepy, but like not.
It was the biggest one I had, actually. I just want to make sure you can fit your stuff in there. Hey, right on, thank you.
Like Tom Hanks is just too like.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Mr. Dressett was the
Like
man.
anyone
I love
that's
Mr.
like
Dressett.
played like a childhood TV character would be a better suit than Tom Hanks.
I I just want to think about it.
Yeah, but think for a moment. Still, my question stands like,
He's a
who
great
would you
actor.
rather? Like, I get what you're saying, and maybe you're not wrong, but I can't think of any of those actors. I don't know any of those actors.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Like the guy who played on Blue's Clues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what his name is, but I couldn't. You know that
The
guy?
first one or the
Is
second?
that the actor's name or the actual?
No, that's Steve. That's his name.
The first guy.
Yeah.
We just got
So See, that was before my time, before I had kids. Once I had kids, suddenly I knew all these other ones. But they're all animated, so they're not real. So it's
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks for wiping the table.
therefore whatever you
I
need.
had like a weird sexy dream.
Yeah, by all means, by all means.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't even know why, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's just mysterious.
Johnny Depp to play Mr. Rogers?
Oh dear God.
I'd watch that.
I can't even justify that with an impersonation. Or I can't even do that justice with an impersonation. There's no fucking way.
Where's the rum gone?
Johnny Depp.
But why is my sweater gone? You know?
As Mr. Ross.
Oh, well.
We're back in my country.
Fucking bizarre idea, too. Oh, weird.
Trolleys.
Getting
When I
shivers
see this
there.
picture, it automatically makes me think of Bush.
totally. It's the hair.
George Bush. George Bush can play
Junior.
That'd be fucking weird.
You know?
With that drawl? You'd have to try and hide the drawl.
Yeah.
How would you do that?
I don't know, but that's what's happening. It's gonna be George Bush playing Fred Rogers now. That's his new job.
Right on. I can handle it, I think. He's got a nice, friendly demeanor.
I mean, yeah.
He was babyface Maury George or whatever the fuck they call him. I can't remember, but you know, he's America's sweetheart that way. So, welcome once again to another exciting episode of Dungeons & Dragons in my garage. When last we left our heroes, they were situated at the summit of the mountains south of the Far Sea Swamps. At the peak of the sunset, at the north tip of this range, they had put down several trolls in succession and scraped and smelted the fat from their bones. Just turn it down. Actually, never mind. I'm going to do that, and then that, and then that. Need like hardware here. Just a mixing board. Just a mixing board. Having put down several trolls in rapid succession, you had accumulated over 8 pounds worth of troll fats.
15
Enough.
altogether.
Sorry?
15 altogether.
15 altogether. Sorry, my bad. Over 10 pounds, nearly 16 pounds. Anyway, having accumulated a whole lot of troll fat, enough definitely to conduct the rending, maybe even some for sale, if you wanted to sell it. But who'd want to sell it when you could use it for all sorts of experiments? Point being, though, is you've accumulated all this troll fat and you're prepared to return. Having put down all these trolls, you're feeling pretty good about yourselves when, in the distance, what do you hear but the sullen cries of something on the air, something loud and fiendish, flying in from a distance, something horrifying. More wyverns on the rise, more of the knights riding their leathery beasts. No, that's really not the one.
That's a sick guy.
From in the distance, you hear them echoing across the treetops and the vale, the valley, the mountain ranges are no defense. As you can see the silhouettes like a flock in the distance, and you can see them suddenly disperse in various directions. But 2 specifically continue on a trajectory that results in them getting bigger and bigger and bigger as they approach. One suddenly dips down, disappearing against the ridge of the summit from where you stand. You lose sight of that one as the other continues to head towards you. As a lot of you situate yourselves here, you can see it's moving very quickly over land. You'd say you have about 10 minutes before it reaches here if it's headed towards you.
And was there little caves too that were?
There was several little caves. There was.
I would like to investigate those caves.
All right. Everyone watches as Leandra leaves the group where you guys are finishing bottling the last bit of one of the troll brains that you smashed the skull open on. You head into one of the caves. The immediate thing that strikes you, of course, is the smell that permeates from within the tunnel. Overcoming that with a con check, you forage through. Yeah. Okay. Actually, you can have advantage. You're a druid. It's fine.
Okay.
It's natural. It's all natural.
It's all natural.
That seemed pretty high anyway.
Yeah, 15.
Wringing your nose for a moment. It's nothing you haven't smelled before, especially thick for the confines of the tunnel. The lot of you watch as she disappears into the tunnel. Throw me an investigation. Do you have any sort of light source, or do you see in the dark? You see in the dark.
I've got.
You have infravision.
Yeah. And that's passive investigation?
Your active investigation is d20 roll and then add your bonus. What is your passive actually?
I think it's 10.
Have you tried it yet?
I have actually.
Is
They
it
show.
good?
Yeah, the orange and green show up really well. You'll see them in a moment, but all the other colors is like, maybe. Sorry, what'd you get?
Nope.
Well, what'd you get?
4.
Total?
Plus.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So your passive is 10 then.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
You step inside, wringing your nose against the thick must. You peer around, allowing your elven vision to just take a gander. But after a brief second, those elven eyes of yours start to water from the stench, and you're forced to just leave. There's nothing in there, you conclude.
Does anyone want to have a look at this place?
For the record, the tunnel only goes about 40 feet back, and then ends.
Only 40 feet.
Yeah, well, it goes in quite a ways, but you see to the back of it.
Right. Okay.
Along the way, you can see that there's bones on the one side,
Yeah.
refuse on the other.
Look at her.
Do you want to take a look in that tunnel? There's several tunnels.
I'll take one of the other tunnels.
Okay. Odds or evens?
Odds.
Okay. Terrific. Throw me an investigation check and a con check.
18.
You want to make that your constitution save?
That's gonna be. Yeah, my investigation.
Okay. And throw me your constitution. Can you fry eggs and troll fat? I imagine so. You can make taters in it. Tastes kind of fucked up, but maybe you'd get regeneration out of it. Regeneration fries. You just eat the fry and it grows back.
Pure world hunger.
15 for your con check?
Yeah.
Just on. Fantastic. Holding your inside slightly as the smell just hits you so hard. You peer around for a little bit, and despite an eagle eye in this small space, it's only about half of what she has in her tunnel, about 20 feet in, and then gets kind of narrow for some air pockets that you can see up, and there's pinpoints of light leading down, but that's about it. Coming backwards, though, leading out of the place, you do actually happen upon a root that's sticking out of the wall, and looking upon it for a brief second, you're like, oh, hey, actually, that is sort of an offshoot of turnip. It's a good spice. And giving it a yank, it breaks off easily enough, and you've got a little bit of spice for the next meal. That's about all you find out of that tunnel. Anybody else? Odds or evens?
Odd.
So go ahead, throw me a constitution check.
Which one's that?
It's going to be your d20, and then add your constitution bonus.
Just start with the 20. That's not 7.
I'll put down the junior as Mr.
8.
Rogers.
8?
I mean,
Okay.
I like
As you enter upon the caves, the smell hitting you so hard as it do immediately begins to turn your stomach. As you stumble backwards, your eyes watering from it, you try to hold things down and burp a little bit into your mouth. Swallowing that back down, you're forced to turn away from the tunnel altogether.
Okay.
You can force yourself into it, but it's hitting you so hard it's making you dizzy.
Okay, so no then.
All right, fair enough. Anybody else?
We should get going.
I'm guessing I'm not really.
Oh, you absolutely are actually.
Yeah. Oh, so I just sort of stumbled on.
We dragged you.
You're just back magically. Okay. Magic man.
Okay.
Use the teleport skill.
Second Left 4 Dead, they find you in a closet. It's fine.
Okay. No, I'm
Swiss
good.
Army man.
Okay, you watch as Lady O'Shea rings away from the, turns away from the tunnel, wringing her face up and bringing her hand to her mouth as she's covering her face. You instantly recognize she's turned a shade of green from her typical color. Yourselves?
I'm not investigating.
Lux watches everything happen here, standing next to
I'm watching the sky actively.
Fair?
can I try another cave?
You may. She watches, she stumbles back from the one there. You want to just approach that one?
Well, I'm gonna go to the one to the right.
Okay, odds or evens? Right. Go ahead and roll me a con check. At advantage, because you're, again, all natural.
Right. Thanks for that. 16.
Good, easily enough. And quick investigation leads you to. Yourself for a high roll. Hey, nice.
Same
That's something.
metal dice.
Peering around, you find that there's a little bit of a stream's remains, and against the bit of sunlight coming in through the tunnel, you can see glintings of some coinage. Sifting through, you find 4 silver coins
Love it.
and a severed set of fingers,
No, I can see
chewed off set of fingers.
Should I take them?
They don't have anything of value on them.
The data.
No, they're kind of just desiccated. Humanoid fingers, by the way.
I yell out to Lady O'Shea, hey, you want some fingers for your tongues?
What kind of fingers are they?
I don't know. Do you want them?
There's nothing
Just
attached
don't go
to
too
them?
nuts because
No,
my phone's
no,
data.
I don't need any fingers.
That's fine.
I'll leave the fingers.
Thank you.
Like I said, I should have grabbed a new keyboard while it was the thing.
Well,
Right.
again, just let me know because I think I have 4 of them.
I wanna get another wireless set.
Okay.
Yeah, this will be my 4th set that I'm on.
I might have a spare wireless.
That'd be cool. But it has to be all on one because I think
All
I'm
on one dongle.
actually I might still have a port.
I
might.
have some spare USB hubs too.
That'd be cool. All right. Toma and Lux watch the horizon, seeing the leathery forms move through the air. As the one dips and disappears, you see the last tunnel being the last tunnel with your compatriot walking out of it. A disappointed look on her face, or a satisfied look. I don't know. How do you feel about 4 silver coins?
That's alright.
All right, whatever expression, a content expression on her face. She has something in her hand. She stows away, and a lot of you gather together.
You should just chug some.
I did. I have no incentive. There's no alcohol in there.
Fair enough.
I would like
With
to,
that in mind,
I'd like to prep my bark skin.
okay.
Can we get started?
Your what skin?
My bark skin.
Oh.
My AC can't be less than 60.
You mumble a few words to yourself, and your skin begins to harden as you grow scales of wood
See.
that then go seamless and then kind of fade to show your skin color again. At least I understand it to be like,
Yeah.
Do you want to give me some heals?
Oh,
I have
yeah.
8 HP.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna cure some wounds as well. That's a 1d8 plus spell casting.
Give them under here. Where's that?
You get 4 hit points.
Alright. 4 better than none.
And with that in mind, you're gonna get yourself. You get yourself healed. You guys are watching the horizon. You guys are finished with the tunnels. There's a set of switchbacks leading up to the edge of the summit, and if I remember correctly, Taryn, Desentera is standing on the edge of there, where she was firing off the magic missiles from. So you can still see the Weavern coming in on the horizon. But what's more is, what's your passive perception actually?
Magic missile boat.
No, it was like Macross plus up there.
11.
11? Alright, fair enough. Peering down towards the stretch of the horizon, watching the Weaverns spread out, you can count off that there's 4 in total, and the ones coming towards you guys, and 2 of them went off in whatever direction. So one's going sort of northwest-ish, and one's going southwest, while the one's coming directly for you, here at the north end of the Sunset Mountains. So as you're standing there watching this thing come towards you, you also see one dip down. So 2 going in either direction, 1 coming towards you, and 1 dips down, and you're pretty sure, not 100%, but you're pretty sure that it's headed down towards Malloran's Rest at the south end of the forest.
Grab baskets.
Well, I'd like to tell everyone what I saw.
Hey, all us.
And probably we should go to the rest
Yeah.
and try to save the
Town portal, town portal.
Do you have all your ingredients now? Or are you missing one?
Bomb, make a portal.
That,
Yeah, totally.
what else did I need?
What did you
Anybody
need?
over? What's
I'm good.
Is it on the other page?
What did I start? I used it.
Starter. Yeah, it seems to be having thermal sensitivity issues.
Would you like to shoot all over your ingredients?
What were the ingredients?
Actually, the other way around. Like, okay, sort of. If the
I had them written down here. Sorry.
if the engine is cold, it will start. If I've recently driven it, it won't start. And it's barely starting when it starts. Like I'm torturing that battery.
Hey, Curtis. I think you like wolves.
Monkshood,
Yeah,
aloe,
that's
maidenhair tree, and
fairly common
bullywug's
knowledge.
blood. Or and blood, actually. But you had thought
So
of
we're
the
gonna
bullywug
wolf
was
and
how I
his
delivered it.
wolf.
Oh.
And I'll put humanoid.
And I want to get my wolf tattoo.
Ooh, that would be nice.
Would I have most of that at the shop? Probably.
You actually have the monkshood, the aloe, and odds or evens on the maidenhair.
Odds.
Odds it is, you have some. You've been going through it as of late. I can't remember, shit escapes me what maidenhair was used for. I've looked these all up if you recall. In any event. Yeah, so that's, you have everything that you need. I can't remember if you declared you were collecting blood from one of your kills. It has to be humanoid though, so it can't be a beast or something like a troll.
Can I collect some of his blood?
Can we just donate it? Like,
Yeah, like it could be anybody,
Great.
but you need a leader.
here you go.
You need a leader, not like a pint.
Can it be
Oh,
pig's
hang on.
blood?
How much is a
Can
pint
we
compared
just
to a
all
leader?
donate?
Pint is a beer.
Pint is a leader?
Or
No,
Is it a
pints.
beer?
4 pints in a liter? No? That's not right.
I don't know. Gus the blood
It's
doctors,
2,
They take
2 pints in a
leader.
liter?
roughly.
2 cups in a
Okay.
2.1 US pints in 1 liter.
Oh,
Great.
you go.
That'll be fine.
Right on. Has to be from one person.
It has to be
You need
from
one
person.
source. And that's why I could doubt it is nice and easy. But however you want to solve it is up to you. I am saying.
Yeah, just have someone to rest and leave them dry.
I guess I'm not humanoid if I'm an elf, though, right?
You are.
that's
Human.
Oid.
Yeah.
Ideally, it could be a family member.
Okay.
But again, remember the reason that it was a bit of an issue to bring up is some people might look at it as necromancy. And necromancy is kind of frowned upon unless you're part of a certain church, got certain papers. Cormier's kind of finicky. It is a swamp place, so you can take your chances. So I'm just throwing this all out there. These are all different variables.
Yeah.
Having said all that, you have everything you need. You've got wyverns on the arise,
Yeah.
and you've got places to be.
Yeah.
So what's the scoop?
I think we need to go back to the rest, but like, how close is the weaver? And like, can we outrun him, or should we just wait for him?
If you again, you have about 10 minutes before he gets to you guys, so you definitely have some time to get down a switchback into a cave, hiding if you want to avoid the combat, or get situated if you want to ambush him,
Yeah.
or just hidden if you want to find out what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's doing.
Let's get moving down to the first switchback.
I'd say we hide ourselves.
I vote for
It's
not
painful.
fighting.
My sunburn.
Ah, fair enough. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Should have seen Garrett. He sent me a photo of him, just like right in the mirror, shirtless nose,
Yeah.
just beat red, lobster man.
Brian guy. He looked like he was getting a
Brian
bad
was just
burn.
fine.
Yeah.
Really?
Brian's having a good time. He does that every year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me and him used to do the same. Just get hosed and lay in the sun. It was good times.
Yeah, he was host.
Oh yeah, he was having a great time. Like I said, I felt bad. You know, he's the one that, or he always looks to me to kind of do the same as he was, and oops, quit. Sorry. C'est la vie. A shot of butter ripple is not bad now. Yeah.
A shot or a whole bottle?
No, I quit drinking, right? So I just took a shot for Brian there.
I'm just saying I wouldn't be able to take a shot of the butter ripple. It's so
No,
good.
fair.
It's like, ooh.
It's candy. It is.
Really good on that.
It is.
I
It
was
is
just
really
gonna
good.
say.
It's thick syrup, or watered down syrup.
I would not like it there.
Yeah, it is sweet. So, as I was saying, though, you guys are situated at the edge of this place. Now, keep in mind that you guys had also seen there was a procession headed up to meet with the trolls.
Yeah, sure. They're on their way.
So there's that on top
Well,
of
I mean,
everything else.
they're probably like 5 minutes away because of the combat and what have you. So,
Let's take
If
the
we
troll's
start-
tongues.
if what?
Take the tongues.
Take the tongues. We have tongues.
I do have tongues.
Alright.
Whose tongues? The ogre's tongues?
Yep.
But those tongues aren't useful though.
Alright.
They're not the grandpa tongues that we need.
Right.
Yeah.
Grandpa tongues.
Yeah. We need like the like
speaker
the
tongues.
high priest tongue. Yeah.
Alright. Let's go down.
Yeah, let's get down the
Yeah,
hill.
okay, let's
get
go.
to the first outcropping that we exited before.
All right. No,
That one again.
not that one.
The blueberry one is much better. I like the XXX one. The XXX.
No.
Ooh, yeah, that's the like triple berry one, right?
Yeah, that's good.
You guys make your way over the edge of the summit, following the path down past the first cave. Keeping a watchful eye, each of you, at the edges, you can easily see all the way down the mountainside. The slope leading away with the switchbacks, each populated with whatever patrols of trolls are making their way along these paths, are few. You see only a handful at the very bottom, and one idly meandering, making its way down the second switchback to the first. You can clearly see a copse of individuals, all gray-pink skinned. Mr. Puddlesworth, Puddles,
Oh, what's that name? Puddlestein.
Puddleston,
Puddlestein.
Puddlestein, thank you,
Mr.
Puddlestein.
He's Jewish.
He says, "Meow."
He's been cut.
Mr. Puddlestein resolutely scritches at your shoulder, right about here, sharply, pinching, and you can feel him stretch out and adjust. Then he promptly goes back to sleep. And also the Kuatoa says blip. With that all covered, a lot of you make your way along the paths. Hitting the second switchback's turn from the third, you see the troll at this point has meandered his way around and is now about halfway down, past some curving in the slope. When he suddenly
Big gross
veers,
one, right?
sorry,
The big gross one, right?
yeah, the big thick one from above.
Yeah.
You guys also tossed the other one off, so he makes his way off to the right suddenly, disappearing from view as he slides away, you assume. And sure enough, your assumptions are verified as you can see his head popping up amidst the various sloping mountains that are in the way from where you're standing. So, like, you're standing at this switchback as it turns around and heads down, and you can see along the way here, there's a bit of a valley where that path in the mountain was. And so you can see him slide down that and make his way to this first switchback, where it meets up on the first switchback. So if you recall, I had a dream.
That got it out.
Wow!
Yeah.
Mental note.
Got a little spray there.
Did you? Sorry.
No, on your phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not on me. Don't worry.
Let's see here.
Yeah, be conscious
Takes
of the
the lid
shaking. Dribbles.
Not much better. But anyway, so there was a thing right here.
Yeah.
A little slope there. Was it here? No, it was here.
It was in both places.
Yeah, there was two paths.
Yeah.
Don't understand the map either.
I still never.
No, the maps and me
There's
never
there was.
Here's the mountains.
Yeah. So
Right?
there's one more to
And
the
there's
bottom
a
one was
path
more to
that
the
goes
left.
up,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it switches back, and then it switches back.
The one to the left was more to
I'm
the.
glad it's not.
The first one was more to the left.
Oh
That
yeah,
one
no,
was the
this
one
one
with
was
the
this.
rocks.
There
Yeah.
it is. And I got this backwards. That's right.
Yeah. You
I'm
got it,
so
you got
good at
it.
this.
sit on a block of ice. I haven't used this
As I
one
was
before.
saying.
But like my
I've
face
used them
isn't
in
like
government
isn't
store, but I figured I'd look at others.
like, and it's hot too. Like feel it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on fire.
Yeah.
Hot ass.
I will learn how to use these effectively. There's a technique to this. It's an art. In any event, so there's the switchbacks like this, and then you had the summit up here, and
Oh, that's better.
if I remember correctly, now there's the path like this. You had some caves and shit along the way here, but the long and the short is there was a path, something like that. Anyway. I have a drawing around here,
that
Jim.
and reverse it.
Yeah, whatever.
This is
Right
the
there.
mirror image.
Yeah. So in case you didn't get it before, here's now a new version that you cannot understand. So, now that we've got that out of the way. He wants to see slides to the bottom. I guess what I'm really trying to say is he slides to the bottom. That's really what I'm trying to get to
Can
across.
we slide to the bottom?
You absolutely can.
Well, let's do that.
Okay, so that's kind of where I'm going with this.
Yes.
You could do that.
Yeah. Can I would like to grab like a nice big leaf and
Okay?
use it as like a toboggan.
Everything up here is kind of pine trees.
Oh.
Can I just use my shitty shield?
Yes. You can totally pull a Breath of the Wild.
Can I
I'll sit on your lap.
Can I make a shield out of earth? Can I make earth and make a shield and slide down on it?
I am good with you magically mud packing together a disc to ride upon to the bottom of this.
Excellent.
Yes.
Sounds good.
That's awesome.
All right. So
I'll just run down now.
Ooh, nice.
Jesus,
Bye,
that's random. Okay.
Well, she wasn't showing her ass
If anybody wants giant bikini mail,
Giant. Well, only
Yes.
he got to really see that unless you were looking.
Who's a big
We didn't get to
Oh,
see.
she was on earlier.
Oh,
Yeah, she was.
lucky. Yeah, we all got a nice peek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you can see my ass later.
Sounds great. But not you.
Not for you.
Or the-
I'll just wait till she goes to sleep.
it's like a zero-sum game. Eventually, it will become that sort of stream.
Yeah.
So, where were we here? Is as you guys are watching this all occur, you can see. So you guys are more or less here.
Sure.
Okay.
And you see this guy slide down there. Shush you! You can see all of the Kuatoa over yonder.
Then we're knocking back down again?
Yeah.
So they've already done their business. I would like to slide down right into the Croatoa.
So you want to slide this way?
Yeah.
Okay. So the only issue here is it's going to be craggy, so you can
It's gonna
descend
be
it.
what?
You can't slide it, but you can
Why?
descend it. So it's going to be.
Because it's too
No,
steep?
there's sliding areas that you can make that are sheer packed, like I was describing, but otherwise you're just
Oh.
descending it. There's some sliding involved,
Right.
but it's like you slide a little bit and then there's rocky
There's a few
outcropping.
trees, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Can I slide down the whole thing on shield?
My idea, if you guys go down to here, you can slide as much as you want.
Alright.
This over here is all hard packed path. It's fine.
Okay.
Over here, it's all craggy.
I
It was a
mean,
hard pack pad.
I guess we'll go slide down the good path. After looking at the fact that there's sheer cliffs on the other end.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
You have your bark skin on.
I was trying to think about how I built it. I'm pretty sure it was all sheer that I constructed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you
There's
can.
trees in between.
Yeah, like I
I
could-
could run into a tree.
Yeah, totally. Like I'm saying, you can descend it.
If I roll
I could
decks,
jump and
can I
feather
make it down?
fall.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's
You
head
can
down.
thoroughly try. Yeah.
I want to try.
It's athletics.
Oh, it's athletics?
As I'm
Yeah.
just like running from outcropping to outcropping for a minute.
Okay, I'm
Hope
gonna
I
do
don't run out of minute.
it. Why
And
not?
then suddenly start
I'm not-
dropping
Run into
like
a
a
tree,
cartoon
free fall.
character.
I don't know about that, but with a
That's
natural
funny.
20, you easily look over the edge and sight a couple strategic points and begin the descent. Letting your weight carry you down, you ski the distance without too much issue. On your feet there, leading down to the first sort of plateau of cliff shelf. Stopping on the edge of this, a moment later you descend a little further onto the next outcropping piece of stone and a little further still. A lot of you who are watching her just do this like it ain't no thing are forced to question whether you could do it, but seeing the path led before you, I'll let everybody make this athletics check at advantage.
Because they saw how I did it.
With a nat 20, they saw you how you did it. You made it look like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a sled.
And watch me face plant.
Natural 20 plus 5.
What?
Toma following in behind.
Anyone want to jump on my shoulders?
Easier. I'll be a little more cautious with it.
Ah, that's
Did you
20.
really? Oh my god! This is amazing!
Alright.
I saw it. It's real. What did
That's
you want?
amazing.
Dexterity?
This is an athletics check.
Good job. This is like our third nat 20 that we've done
17.
together. I feel so
We
honored.
got
It's close
we
enough.
got the
Fantastic.
connection happening.
What am I rolling for?
Disadvantage athletics to get down the hill.
Sliding.
Advantage?
Yeah.
Yeah. 17.
Who's gonna fuck it up?
Mark, are you gonna fuck it up?
What do I need to?
16 or better.
As you tumble down the mountain.
Face hitting every rock.
15 or better?
I just. Yeah, 12.
No.
Ooh. Is
Okay.
that
That's not there.
is that on the
Yes.
What? Like in the soundboard?
Yeah.
That was on the soundboard?
Yeah.
Why you trick me like that?
With a trip against your toe, with a piece of stone catching against your toe, you trip forward. Unfortunately, while you manage to catch yourself, you do crack your elbow on the edge of a stone, but manage to steady yourself just as you're about to lose. So you take 2 points of damage, and you can try again. You guys watch as above a bunch of stone and dirt comes tumbling down, narrowly missing Toma as a bit of it goes sailing over the edge and clanks into the path down below. The Yonderish.
18.
Okay.
Or 17, sorry.
17. Okay. You easily descend the rest of the distance without issue. Sliding to the bottom, you find yourself next to the rest of your group, who all stand. Oh, Lady O'Shea, did you make yours?
Yes, 18.
Fantastic. That's right. Yeah. Each of you, one after the next, slides your way down, hopping from stone to stone, much as you watched your druid do. Like a team of mountain goats, you descend to the bottom of the path. You find yourself nestled against the cliff wall in a bit of a divot. Fortunately, not visible from the bottom of the pathway. From where you're situated, at this hour, there's a contrast shadow that is overtop you, so you guys are pretty much buried in darkness here in the divot of the wall.
Did my Kuroto make it?
Oh, sorry, yes. Your Kuotoa does not immediately make it. And
on my shoulder.
you could have, but you're at the bottom now. Your Kuotoa hops a couple stones confidently, watching everybody else do it. And as he hits the second set of... actually, as he hits about the halfway mark, he slips a little bit and falls on his ass and skis down, banging himself left and right for 4 points of damage. He manages to steady himself the whole way down. He's kind of doing the tongue bubbling in and out of his face constantly and kind of
Fish out
shaking
of
his
water
head.
are really known for their dexterity.
Yeah.
So, needless to say,
For this? I don't know. I have to go look it up right now.
they just grab you.
Hilarious.
Skin stick to the.
Woo! That was fun.
I think he's gonna go get you like a blanket to sit on or something.
That would be nice. Oh my god.
Hello, Farah. All the above.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah, it's so
Aw, thank
yeah, no worries.
Okay. Let's see how much
Ugh. You guys got there.
Yeah, thank you.
It's in digital on beyond.
You don't like this shit. Like hard copy.
Where are we then? So 4 damage to the Kuotoa takes, and then he's gonna try again. He's gonna biff it again. Getting himself up, he slips managing to catch a hold of the stones, he actually goes face first against the slope and scrapes himself for another 2 points of damage. He continues to slide for a little ways. Failing to catch himself, he continues to slide, taking another point of damage. You're spending your inspiration on the Kuatoa?
Yes, do it!
Wow! 5 experience. He still doesn't make it.
How many points of damage does he have?
He then nat 20s at the very bottom. He takes another 5 points of damage in the meantime.
But you said that what was the
So 5, 6, and 4. So he's taken 10 points of damage in total in the descent.
You said 5, 6, and 4 though.
Yes.
So it's not 10.
Didn't I? Or sorry, what
That's
is
15.
it? Oh wow. No, hang on. 5, 6. No. Sorry, I was counting up in my head.
Oh, okay.
So it's 10 total.
10 total.
So it's, yeah.
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's got 18
Because it was 4
total.
and then it was 1.
Close.
Oh no, actually there was another 2 in there too.
Yeah.
Wait, did I give him too much? I may have just given him too many rolls. There was supposed to be 3 rolls. I think I got carried away on this. So hang on a second.
gonna kill
He's
him.
only taken 8.
He's only taken 8, so he has 10 hit points left.
7 points. 7 points.
He's got 11 hit points.
Terrific. There we
Okay.
go. Because the first one was a 4, then it was a 1, and then it was a 2.
Sounds great.
And then I rolled a 5.
Okay.
But that was 1 too. Anyway, we're having fun.
Excellent.
I inspired the fish with my footwork.
And with that, the lot of you situated in the divot are covered in darkness. Excuse me. From what you can tell, the Kuatoa are leaving at this point, and you can hear the footsteps, the rumblings, in fact, of the trolls making their way back. However, as this is occurring, you can also hear their grumblings, and you can also see the silhouette of the Wyvern once again, as it erupts from the forest and hovers overhead some distance away still. It hasn't reached you. You've only been traveling down about, well, almost 10 minutes. So it's still about, say, half a click out. So as you're all standing there within this little divot, you can hear that there's a bunch of trolls just down the path to the left, and there's the Wyvern up hovering ahead of you.
Yeah.
The troll fat weighs heavily in your bag.
I'm hiding against the wall, but...
With bated breath, shadows covering you, you stand in the divot. You hear the thundering sounds of the trolls suddenly moving almost at once and all together. You can hear their footfalls beating up towards you along the path. In a sudden moment that comes on sooner than expected and passes all too quickly, you watch as the horde of trolls makes its way rushing past you up the slope, leaving a large cloud of dust in their wake. Moving as if whips were at their tails, they rush up the slope and disappear from view, but their thundering footsteps continues to echo in the divot. As the mad horde disappears up the slope and around the first switchback, Lux, your passive perception and yours lets you hear when they make their way around the corner. As the resonation dissipates from the divot, you can still see the Wyvern closing in. This all took, if not interrupted, about 5 rounds.
Right.
So is there anything you're doing in this 5 rounds at all, or are you just waiting? Staying as hidden and quiet as possible.
Let's
Short rest
hide,
is 4
let's
hours,
hide in
right?
ambush.
Short rest is 1 hour.
Oh, I'm a short rest.
It's 5 rounds. Sorry, 5 rounds.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like, what
That's 50 minutes. Then.
so 25 seconds.
Oh, 25 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
No.
30 seconds.
Is there anything I'm doing?
How many are running past us? Sorry.
There's probably 7.
I'm teaching my Kuatoa to say...
How sheer is the cliff as they're coming by, as they're going to be coming by us?
Sorry, how do you
want to
mean?
heal him?
Opposite the pathway. How,
Heal your
sheer,
Kuatoa.
how
Oh, yeah, that's
sharp
what
is
they
the
should do
cliff
too.
opposed to where we are?
So, quite literally, the path would be, this is the path here, okay, and then the divot's here, and then it kind of like slopes in a little ways and slopes a little further, and then up it goes, right? And this is
Yeah, no. Opposite to where we are on the far side of the pathway.
Oh, on
I'm
this
wondering
side.
how sheer it is.
I would say it's about a 70, 40 grade, depending. where you go down. So it's variance, but
So
it'd be the same sort of test as this.
Very falling down a cliff.
It'd be actually one roll to get down from where you're situated there, as opposed to 3.
Oh no, I'm thinking about knocking them down the cliff.
You give him a quick blessing of nature, and his wounds suture themselves together.
Does that get me some friendship points in it?
He gives a burp of the tongue, looking down towards where it's wounded, and licks it. Then he licks it again.
Convince him you're
Then he chews a little bit, convinced that you've healed him.
It's true, yeah. They like religion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Convince
How
him
do I
you're a
convince him
god.
I'm a god, though?
Keep doing stuff like that.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Sounds good.
As he licks it and then chews it, and then watches himself bleed a little bit, he looks upon it and then looks at you, and gives another burp of the tongue. That's about it.
Nice.
He's not sure what to make of it,
Okay.
but
Is he happy?
yeah, I'd say he's got a smile on his face.
I'm glad.
You can see some teeth there. A lot of you at the bottom of the cliff, situated as you are, watches the trolls leave. You can see the Weaver in the distance. You watch as she heals the Kuatoa. Puddlestein comes forward and gives you a nuzzle on the ear and a nip. He seems uncomfortable or hungry, you're not sure.
I'll give him a bit of profit.
He takes it, actually.
You're gonna beat
Odds
him
or
so
evens,
hard,
odds or evens.
He's gonna be crazy.
Let's go odds or evens. Alright. Odds it is. He does take it. And he likes it. He mouths it. You can hear him masticating in your ear there very loudly as he's making his way through it for probably the next, 2 minutes of chewing, and you feel it like come out, and he's pawing at it as he tries to like chew it apart a little bit.
Bubblegum.
Yeah, really. He's chewing the fat for a while. But that said, he gives a satisfied purr at the end of it, of course. But in the meantime, you do have a little bit of grease now, a bit of a grease stain there, and it's regenerating hair at an accelerated rate. So it grows out to about a 1/4 inch and stays there. Okay, I know, it's weird. In any event, each of you situated in the divot can see the Weaver just yonder. The other side of the cliff, as I was mentioning it, is still a bit of a challenge to get down, but less so for the distance. So it's 1 roll as opposed to 3. And otherwise, you can make your way down the path to the left, although that potentially leaves you out in the open.
Okay. And so where's the Kuatoa us at this point?
It might be funny.
The Kuatoa? He's
No,
not.
sorry.
They are making their way. You can take a gander out the divot and see the group of them making their way off in the distance that way.
Oh, okay. I thought they were a couple rounds from us. Like coming
No.
towards. Okay.
But
misunderstood.
as you're looking out upon them, you notice that a troll is walking with them now.
Ooh. Oh, those are scary.
Alright. Well, I will give them a little more time.
Is that what's coming towards us?
Okay?
Yeah.
It's fine. You guys hear the beating of wings echo outside the mountain. Against the divot, it sounds like a draw and push of air pressures. You know, that sort of woof, woof, woof sound. As this occurs, Lux and Leandra, you guys can recognize it's coming from the same direction as where the trolls went. To everybody else, it kind of sounds like it's all around you. Actually, what's your passive perception? If it's 15 or better, you can tell it's coming from up the hill.
I think.
FYI, mine's 14. I misspoke on that before.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Mine's just 11.
No, actually, I think that's me assuming. I think you corrected that. You did correct that. That's my bad. No, that's not low enough. No.
That's really low.
It's better.
As you hear this from above, you feel the ground around you shake slightly. Unsure of what it is, you can hear the roars of several of the trolls from earlier. You hear one voice amongst them all, humanoid, shout out, but his voice is drowned amidst all the trolls. The wyvern screeches, and you can hear it caw, and you can hear the trolls roar, and you can hear several impacts, thuds, the sounds of smashing and cracking, of tearing flesh and splattering liquids. And a moment later, you hear it again. As you see the wyvern suddenly trying to fly away, obviously wounded, with the knight at the back, and you see it drop a body, one of the trolls falling, suddenly crashing into the trees up ahead, somewhere in the forest.
Can I do an active perception to try to mentally note where it fell?
You watch as it off in the distance.
Okay.
You got it. No, you got it.
Okay.
Passive
So
perception's fine.
I'm
Your
just
passive
thinking-
perception of 14 will be
Yeah.
good.
I'm basically thinking, do I know where that is? So if, while we're on our way out, let's grab some more.
Yeah. More troll fat. I'm down.
With that, you guys see this? It's more or less a beeline off the edge of here, as the wyvern was escaping pretty much overhead. And you guys see the
by the one
silhouette.
the chicken took out?
You see the phoenix chicken head in there. You're going to have to fight it for the troll. But as I was saying, so you guys see the troll head over, sorry, the wyvern head overhead with the troll in its claws and drop the troll yonder in the trees. After which it heads off into the horizon as best it can, doing its best to stay aloft, although obviously quite wounded.
Approximate distance?
I'm following Lux.
It quickly reaches about 1 kilometer away as you watch rocks and bones being hurled after it from the trolls up top. You can peer around the edge, any of you, and see from where you're situated. There they are, the lot of them. About
Perhaps
5
we
left, it
should
looks
break
like.
you and I going stealthy to go get that troll and then...
You can see another corpse amidst them up at the top, having half slid down the slope. That is to say, another troll.
Yeah.
So the wyvern took on a troll
Let's go down to.
and took one with it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking we're probably better able to be fast or evasive as needed versus the whole group.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I'm following you, so you tell me what you want me to do.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
To the troll.
Follow
good.
Lux.
Recommending that they Foxtrot Oscar away from the towards rest, back to the road. So get back to the road.
What's that?
That would be the sword.
Oh.
That was on mine.
Yeah. It's lighter than I would have expected.
Nope,
it
this is all-
looks kind of like a Kit Rive sword, but it's like
It's a fake sword.
yeah, it's they're all fake, but it's
You
a
guys
lot
make your
lighter.
way down from yonder into the...
It looks a
Sorry,
lot.
stabbing
It looks like a knockoff of the Kit Rive swords I have.
Probably, yeah.
Where was I? Sorry. So, you guys can go up there.
Because it's really light by comparison.
Lux heads off down the slope. Making his way over the edge, he makes an athletics check as he hits the edge of the cliff.
Oh crap. 9?
He slips off the edge as a bit of loose gravel catches him and bumps his way down to the bottom. Landing as expertly as you can, you land a little too hard and bash your knee on the landing for 3 points of damage. As you stand back up and give yourself a dusting, you look up above and is anybody else following?
Oh, yeah.
Lucio's following me.
Leandra comes in with an athletics check as you continue to descend down without issue for the rest of the way.
Again, I really question why that's not
That's a
acrobatics.
7.
As Leandra does the same loose gravel patch catching her, she lands on her ass, falls off the edge, and lands on her feet, taking 1 point of scrape damage on the ass.
Thank you.
Oh.
And I'm gonna roll for my first.
Oh, no, we should be stealthy and fast. So
I thought
may
you said
want-
you didn't want to be stealthy.
No, I want to be
Oh,
stealthy.
okay,
That's
well,
why
then
I'm saying it should be
stay
just you and
away. You
me.
can stay away.
Okay, the Kuatoa stays back.
I say, go with her.
Alright, with that,
You look so happy about that.
To be clear, do you have animal transformation still available?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I have one more wild shape, and then I have to take a short
We
rest.
almost fell down a giant cliff last time, me and him. He's attached to me.
As the Kuatoa comes close towards you,
Yeah.
Puddlestein comes closer and starts to eyeball the fish. The camera pans away from you two and shows Luke's making his way down. Toma, what are you doing?
I guess I'll start heading down the path.
With them?
No, the other path.
The path.
Path, you heading this way?
Yeah.
Right. Head down the switchbacks as you are. You hit the edge of a loading screen and disappear into the next one. But seriously, you head down the pathway. As you do this, you catch sight over your shoulder of the trolls at the top, and you're not sure as you're walking down there if they can see it. And you look ahead and you can see the Kuatoa some distance down the road with the troll amidst them and that sort of shimmering fellow at the front with the fins on his head. They're a good distance away at this point, but you can still see them clearly enough as you make your way down the path for your double movement, 60 feet, so it is, disappearing off to the edge here.
Okay.
So the forest that you guys are delving into, heading down this way, is about 50 feet off from the road.
Okay.
So just saying. And meanwhile, you guys,
I guess we'll probably
do
just.
you want to follow Toma or do you want to make your way down?
I'm gonna stay with Taryn.
Right?
and
Sticking back with this
Fishman.
Terra.
Glup.
Blup, blup.
Glup.
That's
His name is Glup.
His name is Glup. Don't forget it.
We'll just do this. So that'll be easier.
Yay!
Hello. Shazam. At some point, maybe we'll just put like a little bag on there so it'll look like bagpipes. Oh shit!
So
sorry.
we're off towards
There's
the
a quick.
troll trying to
I just want to segue. There's a quick little wipe that goes back as you're heading down towards the forest. There's a little wipe back to the drow that you were fighting,
Yeah.
where you guys had an exchange and then she fucked off because I totally forgot to cover that at the beginning of the session. So my apologies. I had a thing planned for that too. My bad. In any event, in the scuffle, she leaves you with another dagger that was similar to the first one. God damn it!
First
I
what?
fucking forgot about that.
The gemmed dagger? The stuff.
The drow dagger that you found. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, the webbing.
The webbing one that you were infecting.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys assumed that it was drow. You had said that it was drow, but nobody confirmed it, I don't think. But then as she fucks off, you managed to get that off of her, and it was in fact another one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I identified
So
it.
wrapping
Now,
that.
I want to say also that it wasn't the same one she was using.
Okay. So
She
again-
drops it in her escape, but it wasn't the same one she was using to fight you.
Okay, so wrapping it in cloth very carefully.
Damn it.
Damn it! You were hoping you just pick
No, I forgot to run through that.
Aw.
There was supposed to be drama. I had it all set up in the... No, it sucks, right?
You gotta do it. It's all
Damn
right.
it. No, I'm losing it. I'm
You're
losing
the
it
best
slowly.
DM ever.
Aw, thanks.
You provide nice butt cushions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I couldn't actually find the cushions because they're all upstairs, to be honest. I gotta get more cushions.
It's better than the leather on her bum.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. Less sticky.
The weathered leather. So, with that said, though, Toma's making his way down the path. You guys are making your way down along the side of the cliff. And you're situated back with us in Terra whilst...
I guess I'll head with Toma.
Okay. Sorry, what was your character's name again?
Baracus.
Baracus, thank you.
Yeah.
As you make your way... Where did I put you? Here you go.
Modify.
You rush down the pathway, making your way along with... Oh, sorry, actually...
4 gems again?
You guys are supposed to be down here, and
Yes.
you guys are supposed to be down there. As you guys are at the first switchback. This is a divot. Totally fucked this up. Yeah. Whatever. You get the idea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I made the divot. Totally too late, but okay. Anyway.
It's never too late.
Situated at the top, you guys are making your way down the path. You can see the trolls up at the top. As they're hurling shit after the Weavern that has made its way into the distance, they seem to be giving up and leaving from the switchback. You guys from where you're situated can see the movement in the trees, and you assume it to be the troll itself. You're not quite sure why the trees are moving the way they are until you hear in the distance faintly And who's got a passive insight of 12 or better?
Nope. Well, we're kind of away from the others. So
No, you guys can see it too.
Okay.
Of what or better?
12 or better.
12.
13?
Passive
Okay.
what?
Passive
Insight.
Descentera looks towards these trees and realizes that it had fallen out of the trees that it had landed in.
10.
So it must have landed in the trees and then fallen again.
Just a 10.
Okay. You see the movement and you see a bunch of birds flying away from the forest where the trees move back and forth. From there, though, situated as you are, splitting in various groups, Lux and Leandra heading off towards the tree line, and Toma and Baracus heading off around the trees after the Kuatoa.
Trying to actively going to the sides of the tree so that the Kuatoa, if they looked in our direction,
Wouldn't see it.
from that
That's
side.
fine. So you guys head off at a bit of an angle this way as
Again,
they're
we're
heading
all
off
self-defeated.
around the forest. Meanwhile, you guys are padding down the pathway and you're situated just yonder. That said, you guys up top can see them disappearing slowly against the crest of the path as it leads downward further and further. And as you glance back towards Lux and Leandra, reaching the tree line, they slowly begin to disappear amidst the trees, heading into the forest.
Ooh, okay. I guess I'll come like down here. Not too close to these guys, but
Okay.
a good distance, quietly, with the curve.
And I'm just
With
following her.
Blup.
With blup.
You gonna follow?
Yes.
A lot of you make your way to the edge, where these guys have vanished into the trees up ahead. Looking over towards the left, you can see the last of Toma and Baracus disappearing around the corner of the forest. Blup looks over the edge and looks towards you and says, "Blip."
Yeah. Blip.
Up indeed.
At that, I assume you descend.
Yeah, we're gonna go down.
Throw me in athletics, each of you. Blup biffs it with a crit fail.
21. No!
He does. He takes
20s
4
on
damage
the
as he
minor
rolls over
rolls
the
are
edge.
incredible.
When
Okay.
you need the 20s, they're not there.
So with a natural 20, was it?
20 plus 1.
Do you want to add any flourish? You tell me what you do.
I will gracefully ninja flip-flop around and
Fair
then
enough.
land on my feet.
You gently over the edge as you do kind of like a somersault,
Parkour.
cartwheeling off the edge and landing on your feet down below. You gracefully, as I said,
Parkour
cartwheel,
ninja roll.
free-handing it off the edge and land down low. That said, as you gracefully just land, you look over towards the side and watch as Blup
Flops it.
Meanwhile,
He needs to stop trying to do
Okay.
that.
Descentera slides over the edge, loses her footing a little bit, and then stumbles down towards the bottom, tripping and landing to one knee for 2 damage. Mr. Puddlestein lets go of your shoulder a moment afterwards. From there, we watch as a lot of you make your way towards the forest, I'm assuming?
Yes. Yes. I'm waiting for you to answer. Yes.
The camera pans against the pathway to show Baracus and Toma from the back. Creeping along the path as you are, making your way in trailing after the group, can't think of a better term, group of Kuatoa and the troll walking along up ahead. You're maintaining how much of a distance?
Yeah. Longer
Okay.
than
Fair enough. You guys continue along the path for probably about 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes passes as you're walking along. They don't notice you. They don't look back. You can tell they're traveling with the destination in mind. But given how far this road goes, you're not sure what that destination would be. But they are actually headed towards, as they veer towards the south end, towards the towns. towards Malloran's. The camera flies up. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, how many of them are there again?
So all told in the Kuatoa group, there's about 20 of the fish people, and then you've got the iridescent fellow at the front. As he walks, his skin shimmers rainbow-like in the sunlight. That fleeting last bit of sunlight, as the sun is slowly making its way towards the horizon, slowly setting down. You see also, of course, the one troll amidst all of them. Occasionally he'll bump one of the Kuatoa as an aggressor or maybe reactionary. You're not really sure from here, given they're still quite a distance away. But his hulking form, you can still see him
Does
battering
the troll
on you
look
guys.
old or young?
Too far to tell. That all said, though, the camera flies high from your silhouettes. If you're not doing anything, you're just following along on them.
I think after a while we should end up stopping and heading back.
Yeah.
I'll say we'll head back.
Okay, so I'm going to rule that you guys already know what these guys were planning, right? These guys were planning.
Yeah.
So they were planning on heading off in the forest. You already know about the troll and all that. So having tracked
I thought it
along...
was on the way though.
So, again, the road that these guys took leads off yonder.
Okay.
And it's about 50 feet off from the forest itself. And then the forest is a copse here that the road is following around.
Oh.
Right? It's just at the foothills here. It's not much of a forest. It's very short, but point being is that you guys are in the thick of that as you're making your way towards this crash site. With you guys just having entered upon the forest, you guys are quickly finding yourself surrounded by, whilst you guys on the side of the road have been keeping somewhat track of how far you've been going and can simply veer in towards where you assume the rest of the group to be.
GPS trackers.
Something like
their
that.
food while they were sleeping.
Press down, right trigger.
Up, up, down, down, left, left, right, right.
Now, yeah. Why not?
It's a long tree. A few more. Can't hurt. Oh yeah. You don't want those ones?
Not those ones. It's very non-foresty.
Yeah.
That wouldn't do.
That's
Alright.
like too sour or? No, it's just like too Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. So,
Trying to eat through it though.
coming towards the forest's edge and entering upon, it quickly turns into a set of roads that lead through here, pathways that others have taken in and around the forest. The trample marks through this region range, most of them large, troll-like, as you might imagine. Many of them belong to various wildlife. Those that might have tried to pass through and didn't make it, you can see littered around.
Do I have any tracking as a druid though?
Yes. I'm pretty sure you got a
Yeah.
proficiency in nature there.
Yeah.
Now, in this case, though, you're not really tracking a trail, are you?
I guess not, yeah.
It kind of doesn't have a trail.
That's
So, but that said, coming upon the roads, you can easily see, just up ahead, the large, hulking, or not so much, troll come meandering out of the trees, groggy and pulling a large piece of tree out of its ear, piece by piece, and yelping every time it does this. At which point it then begins to chew on it, enjoying the taste of the wax.
Given Yeah, given obviously not dead, fast regeneration, we should probably not fight.
Yeah, I don't have fire either. So, you want to go down the left path?
Yeah, let's just avoid them.
Yeah, going down the left path.
Stealthy to the left.
Okay. So roll me stealth. Just stealthily make your way back down the left path.
Let's try.
Oh yeah.
12.
Okay.
14.
Leandra, you manage to fade into the trees and make your way out of view. Lux tries to do what you do, but doesn't do it as expertly, being not a druid. Needless to say, the troll's passive perception... I'm just going to check it, because actually I'm not even sure. I'm so close at that point. Where's my troll? There it is. My passive perception is...
14.
I keep failing.
Is 12 on the nose. Passive perception 12. So that's it. He glances over towards you, and seeing you, suddenly gives a bare of his teeth, and then runs across the way, disappearing into the trees.
Okay, I bolt to the right now.
Alright?
Yeah, because we're on left now.
Lux suddenly bolts. You hear his feet
Double moving.
rush along as he makes his way. You glance over towards him, hearing the troll disappear from view. You follow in, double moving into position on the other side. Meanwhile, you two outside on the path are making your way towards the forest's edge. You don't hear any of this. And yourselves are making your way up towards the forest's edge as well. You think you hear something ahead, but you're not sure. Meanwhile, what's your passive perceptions?
11?
Kurotoa is 14.
Yeah, yours is 11. Is it?
Yeah.
The Kurotoa suddenly pats you with a wet hand, and Sir Puddlestein gives a scratch out. The Kurotoa pulls his hand back. Blah, blah, blah. He says angrily. Because you can't facial expressions. So
What is it, boy? What do you need?
What is it, lassie?
Is there something over there, or should we go over there? There's something over there. Okay. Is it bad?
He pulls out his dagger. Whoosh.
Okay, it's bad. Let's get it. Let's whip out our shit here.
Yeah.
So, it's at this point that you guys glance over towards the right, and you can see a large form bathing up on the slope side. Suddenly, you're seeing a large two-headed female. It's huge, just situated, facing away from you. But you can see it there sunbathing on the side of the slope, facing away from the receding sun as best it can, enjoying its sun tanning, dressed in some sort of odd metallic bikini. It's the most bizarre thing that you just suddenly catch sight of. But she's huge. And as she reaches over and grabs a massive barrel of suntan oil and punches it and then starts smearing it all over her two heads.
So this is a two-headed female orc?
If you're not mistaken, you've heard story of these creatures. Two-headed giants.
Oh, Jesus.
Ettins. Yes.
Can I see? Yeah, I was like, let me see.
Yo.
Jeez. You're right on your shoulder.
No one.
Yeah. We're just kind of like, we're just gonna see. You know, they'll head towards them and be like, oh, suck, we're already entertaining the
Quick, summon Tori. He'll distract her.
Oh shit.
I go to Weird Owl in a
That's
month.
what that is.
Really?
Yeah, I've got the notification on my phone. Sass got us
That's
tickets.
fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be my first concert ever.
That's pretty
Oh, really?
sexy.
That's damn sexy.
Yeah, except it's a woman.
Right.
Right.
I'm looking at its stance. Maybe we should not go near it.
I mean, it might be sparkly, but
We should stay away from
pretty
it.
squishy in you.
Yeah, let's stay away from it.
Giant.
And it's tacky too. It's like rainbow camel print.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, you're into that? Alright, well, there you go. It's what you want. That's all there.
I'm staying away from that. One hit or two might
It's
kill
like
us.
sparkly rainbows.
It's got battle jets in it. You can tell it's seen some shit too. Yeah, this is kind of like her all day, every day.
Nice, I like it. Yeah. Casual.
Probably got some fungus in it, but you know, that's part and
That's
parcel.
what you expect from
And it works for a druid, you know, it's all natural. Again, all natural. On that bombshell. Oh, bombshell. As I said, you guys are making your way towards the tree line. So, meanwhile, back in the trees, it shows Lux peering through the brambles and branches, looking for any sort of movement that he might. And you can throw me... Actually, what's your passive perception? 14. It's 14, and so I have to roll... You think you hear something, but you're not sure. It might have been... No, maybe just the wind. But if it was the wind's blowing heavier over there somewhere. Yeah,
you continue drifting to the right in my movement in general.
Double moving all the way?
Yeah.
This way?
How's that rock look? No, let's get off into the rock way so I'm more concealed.
Aren't you going further away, though, from the house? The place that we're going?
Well, weren't you guys going after the troll?
Not
We
anymore.
were.
Oh, have you guys decided against it? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
You head over towards the rock outcroppings that lead up the slope towards the foothills, once again.
And that's towards the swamp, right?
Ultimately, yeah, it is more or less towards the swamp. Because the road here would go up around it.
Okay. As long as I'm going towards those, I'm happy with that.
So that said, you're going to follow in with him?
Yeah.
Alright. You guys do so, leading off from this area.
Basically.
But that all said, it's showing you guys leaving as you guys are arriving. And you guys are arriving.
Oh, Silva.
As you come to the edge of the trees, you peer in amidst them and see the streaks of light from the almost set sun. Oh, actually, I think kind of gapped on something here, didn't I? You put all this money into lighting and then you totally forget to fucking use it.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice! That's so great!
I want to get the rest of them replaced again, too.
That's awesome!
So that said,
Oh, that works out great.
really nice on my team. Cool.
Nice. I'm amazed.
And now what I'll do. Alright. As you guys come to the edge, the last bit of light peering through the trees, streaks of it floating through here. You can see motes hanging around and you can hear something grumbling some distance away. As you guys situate yourself here up top, your fishman friend pats you wetly on the shoulder and Mr. Buttlesing scratches him again and he pulls his hand back. Little, he points off to the edge. As he points off to the left here, you peer over and you see the hulking form of the Dragonborn step through the trees and look around and you can see him kind of like sense something and he goes stoic as you hear the grumbling some distance between you and off in the distance you can see the rest of your friends. Now as this is all happening, Leandra can look over her shoulder and note she hears something, but moreover sees what she thinks is a silhouette of a humanoid figure at the head of the forest.
Well, since he went all stoic, I'm going to get my
Okay. Your hand starts to crackle purple as little bits of arcanic energy throb against your fingertips.
I'm going to ready my longsword just in case something comes out.
Okay. Pulling out your crossbow, Thomas slowly draws out his blade and takes a couple ambling steps towards where he heard the grumbling.
That's how I had wars it.
Oh, okay. I
know better not to add more than grumbling.
As this occurs, you guys situated at the front of the forest are surprised to see something else. something in the distance still fluttering about in a circle as it seems to be approaching. And you can see it too, as it comes into view, slowly meandering left and right. It's the Weaver. And on the back of it you can see the Knight leaning off and looking down and around.
Looking for that goddamn tree.
I guess it's not within 30 feet yet, is it?
No, he's got to be about half a click up in the air and away. And he's scouting around.
Is there any place we can run to hide? Where we're
Possibly. As you guys come towards the edge here, you have one movement left. Each of you has one movement from where you're situated.
Let me we'll go back into the tree.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah, I'd
go
like
to
to
where we
dart
can
into the
hide.
trees beside me too.
Should we
I'll dart to
dart
the
back or
rock
should we
and
dart
duck
to these
down.
trees here?
Hiding.
So you're going to
Head's
head.
ahead of us?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna head,
That's where the...
Again, you see Toma and Maracas over yonder.
Yeah.
And you don't see them.
oh, okay, then yeah, I'm gonna go
She
back.
can kind of see your silhouette through the trees.
I'm going to mold earth and hold it above me so that if you were to look down, it would look like I'm invisible.
You do this. Grabbing hold of the earth underneath you, you pull it from the ground and form yourself a little bit of an umbrella overhead. Okay, fair enough.
I'm stepping back into the trees that I just came out of.
Sounds good?
Yeah.
Same here.
Alright.
Hide in the trees.
That's actually, yeah, if you're moving into the trees, yeah.
And spell is no longer cast unless it's on the blow.
No worries. I wonder how that's going to sound, actually. It's a little louder than I expected. Sorry, everyone.
I mean, it's pretty accurate.
For a lightning bolt. Not the sort of rumbling that I wanted. Let's see if that works. No, I had a high hope. That said, Toma and Baracus head over into the trees, hiding in amongst the branches. It's at this point that the smell hits you. You're close. Whatever you're in here with, whatever's grumbling, it's close. You can hear something. And you hear it grumble further. Camera sweeps away to show Distantera and Lydia Shea at the head here.
I'm darting into the trees.
Right, you were heading into these trees? Or these ones? Sorry, these ones? Okay. And what are Lux and Toma doing? Or sorry, Lux and Leandra doing at this point, being over here?
I have my umbrella
she's-
of dirt.
Yeah,
And
sorry.
I'm trying to stay
I'm
hidden.
hiding down into the rock face there,
Okay.
assuming that it seems to be unless it seems like a vastly inferior option than hiding behind her dirt wall.
Fair enough.
It's a great option.
The Weaver at this point comes swooping in low, gliding in overhead. Oh, sorry. Lydia Shea is in there too.
And Mr. Kurotoa,
He's following.
wherever he's supposed to go, you be wherever's safe. We're leaving, I need to
The
go.
leathery beast makes its way overhead of you guys as the Knight peers down into the trees. He doesn't notice anything as he passes by. His silhouette darkens the area for a moment before he disappears against the trees. Everyone can roll initiative.
17.
Nice.
Oh, plus something.
Dex.
I got 20.
Nice.
Not nat though.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
You get a plus 1.
Nat 20?
Do I not 20?
Another nat 20? That die is loaded.
I mean,
Seriously.
I'll still count that as our fourth one. Now it's writing better.
It does so on short strokes. You go too long and kind of does that, right?
Yeah.
Lux.
13.
13 for Lux.
My dexterity is +3, my initiative is
Mr. Shea?
Oh, 18.
For Miss O'Shea. Baracus.
9.
Toma.
7.
Ooh, I'm gonna roll initiative for my crow talk.
Indeed.
12. Don't like blub?
No, I don't like Blub.
Why? Blub's
Blub is
awesome.
fantastic.
He smells fishy.
Hilarious. don't stand next to him. Why don't you come up with a spell that makes it not stink?
18 plus bonus.
Damn.
Fuck the wizard.
Oh, actually, I might be higher than you.
I just get
Probably
wherever.
are.
Whatever you think.
I might not be. I may only have a... No, I have a +1. That's exactly right. With that said, Dysentera, you're up first. Situated in the trees as you are, peering ahead, you can see the outline of a hulking green thing amidst the trees. But what's more is you hear something thud behind you in the distance, and you look back to see a troll headed towards you. At least towards the forest. So, somewhere over here, you see that there's a troll meandering towards you.
Coming. Well, I mean, I think I'd like to stay hidden still.
Okay. That's fine. You situate yourself where you are. Do you do anything? Not yet?
No, I don't think so. I don't want to be the first one to
The
react.
camera pans against your face as you stare at the hulking form, and it shows the reflection of it moving in your eyeball. And a moment later, as your eyeball twitches to the left, it shows Leandra. Somewhere in the distance.
Do I see anything?
From where you're situated, you can hear movement off to the left from where you're standing, so over here-ish. In the distance, you're not sure what you're hearing for the rocks and trees in the way.
Okay.
Otherwise, you saw the wyvern pass by, and you can hear it flying away.
Okay. I'm gonna ready my scimitar and stand with my dirt umbrella.
You slowly pull your blade from its sheath and hold it steady in your hand. The camera pans back towards Toma as he watches the hulking form slowly make its way through the trees, breaking brambles and branches as it comes, making a ruckus, pulling trees apart slowly, walking towards where you're standing. As the camera pans in behind over top and shows the massive form come towards you, it simply looks at you standing there, the both of you. Holding an earwax-covered branch in hand, it tosses it idly to the side, flexes, shows claws, and steps in for business. Coming in slow and steady, Toma gets his weapon ready to receive. As the beast swings idly down, bringing one clawed hand towards him, Toma reaches up and easily blocks the strike. As the beast is stopped, it grins and then swings again, bashing against you. You easily bring your shield down, blocking against that as it rings you tight in together, one form, one tower of strength. And finally, it tries to bite. Hang on. Maybe it doesn't. I may be mixing up my creatures. Hang on, sorry. No, it does. It does totally bite you. Or tries to anyway. Huzzah!
Oh
And as you hold steady the tower of power that you are against these strikes, it suddenly lashes forward with a chomp and manages to bite you on the snout for 7 points of damage.
no. Oh, fuck.
Clamping against your face, you rip your head backwards from it, bringing your shield up to bash it in the chin. You manage to connect and send it reeling backwards in defense. As this all occurs, the camera pans away from the quick exchange. Toma, his adrenaline pumping and rushing, blood pounding in his ears, having been through hell already. The camera pans away from him to show O'Shea in the distance against the trees.
Alright.
All bad. Okay, sorry. Oh, the guy over here. He's gonna ride a while. Yeah, so you guys aren't at time limit. Make too much noise, the wyvern gets you. Don't do it fast enough, the other troll shows up.
So I'm going to move.
Every combat's gotta be different in some way.
I'm gonna move deeper into like next to those rocks behind that tree with the Toa.
Lady O'Shea moves backwards to the trees and clambers with an athletics check up around the rocks.
No, not up. Just
Around
in
the
front
side?
of it. Yes,
Okay.
right there. A little bit more hidden there.
No worries. Taking cover amidst the trees without issue. Oh my god. With major issue, apparently.
Haha!
Pack that shit down. Alright, as we were. Haha! Thank you. Thank you. I'm an artist, you know.
Oh, yes.
That said, every artist signs their work. So, standing there in the divot against the trees, you sight out towards the movement that erupts in the brambles and bushes down the road.
Okay. I have a brief question before I end my turn. How
That is?
far away is that guy from me?
That guy
Yeah.
And there's also
is
some cover
130 feet away. 140 feet away, maybe.
some serious cover.
Would anybody like something to drink? I've
Yes,
noticed
please.
there's nobody. Help yourselves to the fridge.
Okay.
By all means, there's the same variety as all.
You pass
This
it.
way! By all
Oh no,
means.
we got pieces.
This-
Yeah.
Moment. We'll be right back.
Everyone's just like,
Pretty good. The float was really fun. We got some people that are very intense with their social media, so we got lots of pictures and videos being idiots.
I saw some.
Yeah.
You looked like you were having a good time.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Yeah, and just go home and try to deal with my car issues.
It's always fun. Not.
But now I'm just kind of, okay, I'm just not going to have a car for the next week, basically. Which I can
At
totally
least
do.
you work from home.
I can work from home, or I can hop on my bike and bike to work. So it's not a big deal, honestly. I really shouldn't use my car as much as I do. The one thing is I definitely can't, by can't I mean really don't want to, do a 6 a.m. yoga class biking there. Because that means I got, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that means I gotta get up at 5 to get to the studio in time, and then I'm biking home, and it's still pretty cold about 7:15 in the morning. So like the temperature delta, I've done it before, it sucks. Like you go out of hot yoga into biking home early in the morning,
Yeah.
and it feels like so cold.
She's 6 and he's 8.
Where do you do your hot yoga at?
Moto.
Oh, okay. The one downtown, or?
No, that's, you're thinking of Hot Box.
Oh,
Moto
right.
is near Sofa Square. Mocha got renamed Moto.
Oh, okay.
It was it was always Moto in other countries, and it was Mocha here.
I think she
And
should
just
be
like the
able to
Yaris
take care
and
of the
Echo,
hamster
they
cage.
just decided,
At least
screw it, we're
some of
just
the
going to
stuff,
call it one thing.
What's that? They got fired.
I go about
I think an hour and a half should be enough for this combo.
I do more, but I
You got this. Dude.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I have done like the challenge week where I did
That shows up really nice.
which was a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think with
There's actually there's a lot more on the game than the other one too.
Yeah, I've
And
known
I gotta figure out. These guys got me that set, and I gotta figure out. It's got 4 strips at 2 feet apiece.
yeah.
But I only have one power source, so I gotta get either long extensions. I think I can get extensions, and then I can have them all situated around here, so you guys each have individual lights for your stuff. Each side will have a light at about 2 feet. So then that'd be kind of neat.
cool.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of this.
So high tech now.
Well, we're getting there slowly. The whole
You need your own
table.
little mics too, you know?
Well, I was thinking about doing the lapel mics, but then the hassle of having everybody mic up every time they show up, and then
And
having
then
it.
trip over the stupid thing when you step off.
Yeah, well, not even just that. Like, I'd get wireless setups,
Yeah.
right? But then what are the chances someone just leaves with one?
If it takes acid.
You know, they're
And
like,
then
oh.
batteries.
Cool, then I'll just.
And then, yeah, exactly. Oh, I forgot to charge them tonight, so now we have no microphones. And so, yeah.
I don't know. I've listened to the stream. The snowballs work great.
Oh, yeah, no, I thought they would, and I was super happy when they did. The other trick was just getting the USB cables to fucking stay in them. Hence the tape. There's too many sessions where it's just buggered for whatever audio problems I had. If something gets disconnected. For whatever reason, it doesn't ring up.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's fixed now.
Is the have you tried an extension for the main camera? I do notice that
So
it's
the-
always at its cord length.
Yeah, and I would love to stick another extension on there. It just ends up dying because it doesn't have enough signal to get
You'd
through.
need like an active.
Yeah, quite literally, you need a signal booster. Quite literally.
That's an active hub.
You know what I mean? Something in the middle there, and then
Yeah. That actually probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Just put a little active.
It'd be better than the ones I have right now. It's just the ones I have right now are what I can find.
Yeah,
Not to mention
active
having,
USB hubs are not an easy thing to find.
not to mention having them powered. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. That's the whole idea.
Yeah. So I haven't actually seen Active Hub, as it were, in a while. I keep checking Princess Auto. I don't want to go and pay $50.
It'd probably be like an Amazon item.
You know what? Yeah, my problem is I don't look online enough. I'll be honest. I just don't.
Dragons Online or whatever.
I don't shop online.
Like to attack him, like
I could have had replacement balls for this session. I just don't shop online.
Oh.
Yeah, because I would have ordered them and they would have shown up today.
Whereas, I'll buy paper towel.
You'll buy paper towel online?
I forgot to buy paper towel, got home with my groceries, went, oh shit, and bought it on Amazon. With free shipping.
Wow, that's awesome.
See, now you're a real Renaissance
2 days,
man.
which winds up being this tablet was still the best example I've ever seen. Seriously.
I'm not getting hit while I'm hitting it. And I realized it shows you your
it's very good, but no.
it adds it up for you.
No, I was actually talking about the shipping to get it. Yes, it works really well for drawing. I haven't done much with it. I'll show you when I do anything.
Everybody got their fluids?
Works well, but I
Pass me that
haven't
soda
done any pieces that I'm willing to ship.
Got all the liquids. Nice.
Flawless.
That's the hardest thing to find.
If you want to try the app, I can open it up.
Yeah, just DDO or Dragons Online.
I do it right now.
No, but just to try the pen.
Nice.
So essentially,
Like my
you
crappy
find
computer
deals.
runs it, so.
If their hit points
I gotta
are
get like
equal or
computer
lower,
back.
then they're actually.
We just got the two TVs.
That's how I understand it. I don't think you're putting this in
Yeah.
control. They had like 100 hit points.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a nice little pen.
It's passive, which is nice. It's walking
Yeah.
type.
Oh, I see.
It's creatures. Yeah.
So it has to be. It has to have a high.
Oh, I was wondering if you were asking for later.
Said that what you want is put a mask protector on so that it's not such a
I've got
glossy
fire.
surface. So
Yeah.
you get a little
Unless
resistance
they
removing.
hit it first, and then you put it
Cool,
when
like
it's
fire.
halfway out.
Fire troll, like.
That might be something that would be good. Yeah.
Cool.
Get back in the box, troll.
We're seriously considering getting 2 of those.
But isn't your Surface good pen?
I really like it. I
No,
don't
I
have
mean-
a pen for my Surface. It didn't come with one because I got it at the pawn shop.
Okay, but they do have good pens for Surface.
Go ahead. Alright. So, sorry, whose turn were we on?
Sorry.
We were just ending my turn.
O'Shea.
Perfect.
Because there's nothing near me to shoot, right?
Sorry?
There's nothing near for me to shoot, so I'm just going to hide in the bush with the fish.
That's fine. With that said, O'Shea looks.
Okay. So how far away is the Wyvern at this point?
Weaver's probably still about 200 feet. Sorry, 200 meters away. About a quarter click at this point. Hovering, surveying, making his way around.
Okay, so I'm going to
So if I
attempt.
may, he went like this and.
So it's over behind me. Okay. Yeah. The price
Jungle
of
Hunt
it's
music.
like $650.
Oh shit!
Because the S5 came out, but the S5 doesn't have pen or anything.
Fucking totally forgot. It's like the apron before combat, right? It's not a step.
Okay, so I'm going to try. Oh wow.
That'd be next to subscribing. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to hop along the path, double moving to try to get in towards the troll and take stealth somewhere around this area if I can.
Okay. So your bonus action double moving.
Double it, yes.
Or bonus action hiding, I guess. For sure.
Yeah.
Wait, are you triple moving then?
If I can triple, I didn't. Is that a
Because
thing?
you can move, you double move and then bonus action move, and that's a triple move.
Yes, I will triple move that.
Okay, but you can't hide at the end of it. And if you double move, then you're getting to the trees where, I'll just...
Okay, can I position myself so I'm on this side of this tree so at least I have some cover?
From here?
Yes. Visual
You
cover.
can get, like, here. That's the extent of your 90, that's your 90 feet.
Okay, so I'll go to here then.
Okay. You ski to a halt, and then amongst the trees as you rush As fast as the wind, across over the rocks, Lady O'Shea watches as Looks bolts across the path.
We're running.
Yeah, basically.
Quite literally leaping off of the stone surface, his feet hit the path, and a rooster tail dusts up behind him as he disappears amidst the trees. Sliding amidst the branches and brambles, leaves, pine needles, and branches kick up behind you as you slide to a halt at the edge of the tree copse. The camera pans away from
It's actually
Bucks
not even that impressive of a speed if
to
you do the
Blup.
math.
What does Blup do?
Oh, Blup. Where's Blup right now? Blup's over there?
Blup.
Blup is going to move in. What's his movement? His movement's 30.
Mm-hmm.
So what's 60? Where can I go for 60?
Because that would be like a 20-second 100 meters.
Yeah, let's go hide in these trees.
Blup rushes away from Descentera, disappearing in the trees next. Or sorry,
not.
away from O'Shea,
like
disappearing in the trees next to Descentera.
And
The average person
Blup's
running at 100 meters.
Blup comes to a stall and stares at you. You think? No, he's looking ahead. You think?
Like 8.
And then he says, Blup.
I'm pretty sure. Either way, so.
Yeah, so.
So, like, yeah, even with all the stuff.
His name is Charlie.
His name's Charlie.
Well, but then again, you have to think you have all the gear on too, right?
With that said,
you're running with your gear. So
You're getting that without an injection too, aren't you special? So with that, Blup comes to a halt as the camera pans over towards Baracus. Standing next to Toma, you watch as the exchange explodes in front of you between Toma and the massive hulking form. You see Toma weakened as he stands before taking the impacts of the troll as best as his skill will allow him. You see almost the shine of something effervescent and unearthly, unworldly come from him as the impacts strike upon him. One after the next, each strike upon him seems to send glowing white-hot sparks where blood should be from his skin.
Is Toma between myself and the troll?
You're more to the side. Toma's like maybe 5 feet ahead of you as you're off to the side.
move around behind you, get some flanking on.
Yeah.
I'd say use your movement to flank him.
Yeah, I'm not going to use burning hands. I was thinking that one because 4d6 would have been really good.
Which one's for that?
No.
Well, you're in the way. I have to go poof.
Oh,
And
you have to make a
everything in
check
front
on
of
it?
me. Yeah. So I'm
What's-
going
what's
to
the
go
check?
around. Was it each creature dex saving throw?
This is not great.
15-foot cone, yeah.
Never mind.
And you're singed alive.
Yeah.
And I just burned my crest
Oh.
alive.
Okay, what I'll do instead is come a little bit more
Let's
to...
use this one.
I believe so, yes. Yeah. More behind him so that he's between myself and Toma.
Okay.
And I'm going to produce flame and just toss it at him.
Alright.
Not at Toma, but at the...
Bringing forth a fistful of flame, you launch it forth.
Yeah, it's within 10 feet there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thoroughly.
Ouch. 8 plus... What am I looking for again?
This is going to be your spellcasting bonus.
Inspiration.
Oh, dexterity, really. It's a ranged attack.
Yeah, I guess it's...
It's a
it's
spell,
not,
though,
so-
but it'd be his spell.
No, it's a ranged attack, all the
Yeah.
same.
So that's just, yeah. You said inspiration?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, because produce flame is make a spell casting save, so it's just make a
Am I saving on a produce flame?
Yeah, produce flame is a spell.
It's a cantrip with a save?
But it's a ranged spell, so you use your wisdom, you use your spell casting ability instead of your dexterity, whichever is higher. I know because on my Wednesday game when I play Druid and I use produce flame all the time. That's what it is. It's a ranged spell attack.
It is a ranged attack.
Yeah, ranged spell attack, but not a ranged means attack. So you use spell casting modifier.
It's like you're trying to be on
So your modifier would be +3. Or no, sorry. To attack. Spell attack. Yeah, so it'd be +5, so whatever you roll, +5. So
So it would have been 13.
yeah.
Yeah.
13.
So you got a 13 to hit?
Was that it?
Why? Because if you miss, you're going to go back to doing that. It's a 15 to hit.
So yeah, then inspiration.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that would hit 15 plus a 20.
20 total? Fantastic. As you leap as you rear back and bring forth a ball full of flame, a fistful of flame, as a baseball pitcher, you lob the ball away. It smacks him directly in the face for, I believe, a D8.
D8, yeah.
I'm going to roll me that, sir. Fantastic.
But at least it sucks. Yeah.
It blasts him in the face as he growls angrily towards you. No, that's not right. We'll go with... Except we'll go... That's more scary, eh? Right. Gives you an angry roar back as his face explodes with flame. You see bits of him fly off as they are quite weak against it. But that said, from Baracus over to Toma. You can move into flanking position. Oh, hang on. He moves not in range.
Not in range?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna cast Inflict Wounds on him.
Okay. Do you need combat cast? Oh, you're 10 feet away already. Or no, you were in melee range.
Yeah, it's a cut. It's a melee.
As you were.
21 to hit.
21 hits.
Awesome.
As you reach in and grabbing a hold of him with a sweeping brush of the hand.
Points in necrotic damage.
Holy fuck! Did you just roll? Oh no, that's not. That's 26 plus bonus.
No,
which
just
no
26,
bonus.
no bonus.
But still, 2
26
10s.
necrotic.
Jesus, good roll. I need to slow everything down for this sound. This will be like this.
Your charm will kill me.
He gives a... As his skin melts, where you grab a hold of him. Actually, you give... What do you do? Like, this is a heavy hit. How do you apply this? It's a touch attack. So you just smack him? Do you bitch slap him with the guardian? Do you give him a palm strike? Do you grab a hold of him and give him, like, the snake bite of doom? Like, what are you doing here? 26 fucking points of damage, man.
I just put my hand on his chest, and I just slowly push him back.
Oh, Jesus.
Push onto him.
He screeches from the pain as you place your palm upon him, and the power of your deity just soaks out of your hand, burning away at that which is evil before you. As he steps backwards, stumbling and shrieking and smoldering, you pull your hand back and witness the palm strike remains. Camera pans away from anything else to declare?
Nope.
Okay, over to you, Santero once again.
I'm gonna hit him with magic missile.
You hear the shrieks, but you see nothing from where you stand.
Of course.
The odd bit of
Obviously.
movement from this ever so safe a distance just doesn't allow you to get a bead on your target.
What should we do? Should have been able to see the flames though?
Yes, you know what? Through the trees you can see the flickers of color, but it's not enough to see where you're shooting. And if you target the wrong thing, you could hit Toma. Or maybe Baracus.
Do it! I can take it.
Oh my god, cautious! Damn.
I'm just saying you have broken line of sight. I don't have enough trees to densify it.
Okay. No, I'm gonna do it anyways.
Alright, fair enough. Is it a D6 or a D4 per?
It's a
magic
D4.
missile.
Oh. 9.
9? Firing away from where you are, blind. Half of them hit, half of them don't, so he takes 4 points of damage as you hear some of them fucked up, and he still shrieks as Toma watches the energetic. What were you firing this time?
Big water balloons that
Okay.
splash on top of his head.
So again, one after the next, lobbing water balloons this time. Am I gonna get the sounds right here? Or fuck this up.
Yeah.
Sailing away, they splash upon him, and you hear him shriek for the 4 points of damage, leading him up to 34. with that said, your fingers smolder as the tree above kind of like falls apart from the strikes of. Is there anything else you're doing this turn? Did you want to move at all?
Yeah, I guess I'll just crawl.
Oh, there it is.
Well, maybe not that close actually. Let's go over here.
Okay.
Kind of like in between.
Clambering up and over, you make it to about here, taking cover against the rocks for 30 feet. As you situate yourself, you look back to see Blup at you with a tongue burp, and puddle steam again lets go of your shoulder as you come to a halt. You feel a little bit of a trickle of blood fall away from where he's been holding onto you as you've been like moving around a lot. And yeah, so in this moment of combat, it's like you're realizing maybe you need to put like a letter or something there, or maybe a bed back there would be good. Or something so he's not, something. So anyway, it's over to Leandra. Hail us with heroism.
I would like to turn into a horse, please.
Okay then. So with that,
Are you going to let me ride you so you can save me?
Yes.
I don't actually have a horse
Into
sound
the
in me.
sunset.
That's unfortunate.
You guys just fuck off and that's it.
Yeah, they're like,
Thanks.
oh.
But with that said, you turn yourself into a horse.
And I would like to double move on over here.
You make me so happy.
That's 120.
So 120. As you gallop across the way, making your way along the trails, heading towards where your compatriots are obviously in combat. And that was it.
That's all I get to do.
Is a bonus action to turn into a horse?
Let me check for you.
Here's my halo.
Wow.
Little crooked though.
Oh no, it's as an action, so I can only move 60 then.
You make your way to here.
Right into the trees.
Right? You head towards it. It's very thick in here, and it becomes difficult terrain for a horse.
Oh.
But you enter into the forest. Look at big horse.
I'm trying to save you, okay?
I'm good.
Fully.
The closer one.
I've got 5 HP. I can survive.
You're fine. You're fine. No problem. This is no problem. This is
back up again.
It's true. Sorry, and Leandra kind of rushing across as a horse. Any bonus action to declare?
I have none.
Very good. Clearing as you do, over the hump. Camera pans to myself. Oh, there it is.
Yes.
Jet propulsion.
Right here.
I mean, that's what we're going to do, right?
Jet
Oh,
propulsion.
yeah.
All the time.
You know, this carriage ride thing, and immediately the fort just has Manatine. Yeah. Like, this is extreme trouble.
You could just make that all day on that.
As the creature lurches backwards from your palm strike, a renewed fervor comes into its eyes as it comes forward and jams its claws faster than you would have ever expected a creature so wounded to do so. As he jams you in the stomach for 11 points of damage, you stumble backwards.
No.
What? What happened? Sorry.
He's going to die.
Well, that's what the troll wants.
Shit. Oh my god.
Oh, you should have seen our old campaign. How much we were up and down. He was down 3 times in one fight one time.
I just got back. I fell down. I got back up. Bam.
That's down.
Yeah, that was comical. But
Game over, Dave. Game over.
just everyone was there.
As this occurs, he lurches back. So he comes in, jams you in the stomach. As you fall over, he runs backwards and takes an idle swipe towards Baracus. Baracus, oddly enough, manages to just lean out of the way at the last second as this massive arm whips over your head before it suddenly heads away from you again and jumps into Toma. Now he doesn't actually enter your. Hang on, let me double check that.
Doesn't enter.
If I'm not mistaken, he has reach. I'm not sure.
I entered the wrong time.
Oh shit! No, I do have reach. Okay, never mind. He doesn't do that because he doesn't have reach. My bad. I thought he had reach. He does not. So he can't actually reach you over 5 feet. My bad. So he doesn't take a swing at you. I retract that statement. That said, though, as Toma falls backwards, at this point I don't automatically hit. I would have advantage on that roll. I am still gonna fucking miss.
Yay.
Hang on. Do hits on unconscious creatures automatically? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. No, they.
Tom, I'm coming for you as a horse.
Down anymore. I am dead.
Don't die. Don't die. No. No.
Inspiration.
You just see the sparks flickering out.
And be exactly in the thing's face.
It's like a toaster in a bathtub.
So can't
Except for water and blood.
All of a sudden, the most confident person is the face.
No, attack rolls have advantage. Even when unconscious, attack rolls just have advantage, so he still has to roll to hit you. So anyway, as Toma rolls over, the thing goes to fucking slash at you and rings off your shield. Getting frustrated at this, it roars out angrily as Baracus just watches this all happen only 5 feet away. Too fast for you to even say or do anything. You watch as he jams, Toma falls, he scrapes, catches sparks flying off of the shield, a massive pair of claw marks appearing, and a moment later, it goes down on Toma. Crunch! You hear something of Toma's as it chews into him. 2 death saves gone.
2 death saves.
Oh my god.
Attacks
10?
on... Hey?
10? Did I make it or?
No, you don't have to make them yet. You make them on your turn.
Oh, my turn.
Alright, double checking.
You're into a situation where you have to get healed or make some serious save luck. Prepare to use your inspirations.
I'm trying.
I don't think you can use inspirations on death saves, can you?
He's the DM. Maybe he will allow it.
He says no.
I'd say no. I don't want to waste them on death saves.
Teamwork is important. How many turns we got? You've got a few turns.
I tried it.
How many
I tried
healing
double move
sources
with a
do we
horse.
got?
If you want to save Toma.
I'll roll a nat 20. Just don't worry.
Don't
Don't worry about it. I'm good with these death
You
saves.
got it.
You are miraculously such at some times, but I'm trying to check if
Is
I
he
have
like
anything
15
I
and a
put-
half?
Lady O'Shea. The camera pans away from the reflection of Toma lying still on the other side of a hulking green form. That reflection graven in Baracus' eye. It pans to the right slightly, and through the trees we see Lady O'Shea's small figure come through the thick. The camera zips in on you. What do? Hello, my name is Lady O'Shea, and I'm way over here.
Can you see him at all?
No, you just heard some mad noise going on over there.
Alright, I'm gonna...
You see a bunch of wild turkeys suddenly run away through the roadway there. 5 experience. That's perfect.
Experience for being a turkey.
I guess I...
What my soundboard doesn't have, Jeremy will make up. He's like that guy on Police Academy for me. It's great.
Oh, that guy was awesome.
That guy was amazing. And Spaceballs.
What is your XP fairy saying?
Have you ever had to burp, but you try, but you can't, and it locks up in your chest, and it hurts, and it just sits there and aches? I imagine that's what it's like being Dooley. I wouldn't know, though. I'm a bot.
Jesus.
There
You
you
just
go.
have this constant ache in you?
No, but,
When
I
you have
mean...
to kill people?
No, like, I think,
No, when he
I'm not
kills
going to get
people, he
into
gets
that right now.
umbrella.
It's philosophical, right? People have asked me about it before, but now's not the time. Now's not the time. Let's be honest. Well, let's, maybe today's the day I stop quitting drinking. Seriously.
Stop quitting.
Let's get it. Let's get it on. Right? O'Shea, tell me of your heroism.
I would like to, how far can I go? Like, 30 feet?
If you want to use both your movement and your action, you have 60 feet. Otherwise, you have half this.
I have half of that.
On one action.
Okay. I will go and stand beside the horse.
I'll mulligan that for the downhill. You actually have double movement on downhill.
Oh, cool.
Or double speed, I should say. So anytime you're on a slope, it's literally you get 10 feet instead of 5 feet. And then likewise, anytime you're going uphill, it's halved. So
Okay.
it takes 10 feet to go 5.
That's a substantial slope, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's not. I'm not gonna do that. Well, it's a set of stairs. The set of stairs does it.
Okay.
So anything.
Stairs is 45 degrees. generally.
That's what I'm saying. I'd do it on the 30-degree grade, I think. Grass, gravel. I don't know. It depends. It's all contextual. You ever get that feeling that you want to burp, but it walks up in your chest? Anyway.
Alright.
As we were, sorry, Lady O'Shea rushes in towards the horse, reaching up next to it. You have an action remaining.
Want to come on my back?
Not the horse.
What?
She's on all fours.
Did you just say?
Sure, I'll hop on that bitch. Yeah.
So, you're going to finish out on her back?
Yeah. Hell
That
yeah.
sounds
Oh,
good.
yeah.
You climb on up. With that said,
I love it.
as she comes rushing by, I'm assuming she's not slowing down. So, if you could throw me an acrobatics.
Ooh.
It's gonna be a quick mount.
That's how we like it around here. We like those one and done sorts of circumstances.
Yeah, this is actually an impressive feat.
You said acrobatics?
Please and thank you.
Okay, so that would be a 14.
Terrific. Grabbing a hold of the saddle as she goes whipping past. I don't know why you'd have a saddle, actually. Grabbing a hold of her
I'm a
mane
riding horse.
as she goes. Hey?
I'm a riding horse. Of course I'd have a saddle.
No, it's okay. Bareback's great.
I don't
Oh my god!
I mean, because you have gear, right? And it disappears. It's weird. It goes one way, not the other. I don't know why. It should. You know what? I'm all for it. I think it should. And a whole cart while it's at it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Covered
Start
fucking
on.
wagon that sprouts out of.
Got a bit in my mouth, like.
Just your tail extends and turns into. I don't know. I can't even imagine how that would go. Why not, right?
Michael Bay.
Oh, shit. You like lose a wheel, it's losing 10 hit points or something. That'd be weird. Your axle breaks, you lose a leg. I don't know. Where are we then? This is super dramatic music.
This is the dramatic music of O'Shea jumping onto my back.
Perfect. As the horse gallops past, Lady O'Shea grabs a hold of her mane and whips herself up onto her bareback. With that said, it's over to Mr. Los.
Okay, so can I see the troll from here?
You cannot. For the thick of the trees,
here.
just barely. He has half cover and half concealment from
Okay, like so.
plus 10.
Yeah, as I'm moving in, I'm trying to spot to be able to attack.
I'll give you a plus 5. I'll halve it for you. You're outside the trees. You have to be in the trees. With that said, yeah, you're good.
Okay. So now from that position, I'm going to quickly draw and fire my original gemmed first dagger.
Okay.
So I used a movement to. Can I still use double weapon?
So this is your last of 4 gems as you're whipping this thing?
For that one, yes.
You give it a hurling toss. Hurling toss, does that work? You hurl
So that's going to be a hit.
Terrific.
Sitting at 60. So what was the effect of that dagger? I forget.
If I remember correctly, it was a d6 of a form of damage. Poison damage? It's been a while.
Yeah, there was the force one, and I honestly don't remember what that thing did because most of the time I was hitting the ground or overkilling something with ridiculous.
Was it 2d6 or 1d6? It was 1d6.
I don't. Okay.
1d6 and then spider sprouted out of it.
No, that was the drow dagger. He's using the 4-gemmed one.
Oh.
That
The
is
4
the
gem
one
was
that
the drow
was.
dagger.
Yeah, the web.
drow dagger.
Oh, is
was
it?
the 4 gems on it.
Oh, that's right. Sorry,
You're
my
thinking of the black
bad.
short sword.
That's right. My bad. No, he had another dagger. The force damage one is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, no, that was
Yeah.
not a dagger. That was a short sword.
Yeah.
Oh, it is the short sword. Okay, my bad. Never mind. Wow.
I have one of those.
Somebody magic.
Yeah.
So, as we were, sorry.
Human armory pincushion.
Okay, so
You whip this thing away.
Pretty much.
No, that doesn't.
What
That's
was
not.
that?
That was me trying, but failing to make the sound I wanted.
okay, so is he melee against?
Oh,
No, it was supposed
Is
to
he
be
in melee against the warlock right now?
Okay.
I was going for something there. I wasn't working. Sorry?
Is he in melee against the warlock right now?
2 javelins.
He is not.
Oh, he's
Okay.
dead, isn't he?
I had some daggers,
The
but
warlock.
No, Toma's down. The warlock's 5 feet away. The troll's still standing. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not in 5 feet in
No,
melee
he's
combat.
certainly not.
Okay.
Where's my bluff? Oh, there's my bluff.
Okay, so
I don't repeat it.
so 6 damage plus. So you said a D6 for the effect of the weapon.
Yes, please. No, he makes a con check. Shit. I didn't write it down, and you didn't either. He makes a con check of 15. I'm pretty sure
Almost certainly enough.
I'm pretty sure that's what he makes. Hang on, sorry. No, my bad. He makes a 17.
Yeah. There.
So with that said, as the blade stabs into him, you do the extra d6 damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 10.
So he still does the
10
extra
total.
d6. As it hits him for 40 damage, he
Okay.
shrieks out from that as well as everything else. Kind of doing
As
this.
the throw is using my green blade, there's a it doesn't actually burn him, but I catch a branch on fire beside him.
Which?
Green flame blade,
Oh my
so
God.
it hops. So it's just catching a branch on fire nearby.
Okay, fair enough. As this thing whips through the air, catching various brambles and branches, that's what I'm understanding?
So basically, it hits an adjacent thing within 5 feet for 1 point of fire damage. So I'm just hitting a tree.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Just to kind of mess with his head because he doesn't like fire.
Okay, I gotcha. Alright. What effect is this again?
The green flame blade.
Okay, sweet. Right. So as this thing sails away, through the trees ahead of you, you watch as it leaves a streak through all the various branches and brambles, because it's super thick in here, right?
Yeah.
And you just threw this thing with such force that it literally buzzsaws its way through the forest, dry branches and brambles exploding in all directions as you tunnel through the forest, and it smacks into him. As he shrieks in pain, all of that which you hit suddenly erupts like a row of tinder matches going up.
Yeah. So there's a little burning bit on the ground.
He ogles back towards you, his single yellow eye through this tunnel of flame, concerned for the blade as he pulls it out of himself.
Okay.
And being that he does that... Oh, you already rolled that. So, yeah, it's over to Blup. Blip.
Bluff's gonna go downhill to this tree here, and that should take him to the 60.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Fish roll.
He easily slides in.
And then he's now 40.
It's a salmon roll.
In which he's gonna throw his dagger.
He gets into the trees.
That is a 17 to hit,
That will hit.
and he gets
D4 based. Plus dex.
D6.
If it's a dagger, it's a D4 based.
Is it D4?
Yes.
I'll take your word for it. Plus what? Did your word to me?
Whatever his dex
Plus my
is.
modifier?
Dex
whatever
mod.
it is.
His dex mod, yeah.
Which is nothing.
If you want, you can look at his spear. He throws a spear.
Yes. This one is supposed to be a
It's
1d6.
literally that attack, just
Yeah.
with the d4 instead of the d6.
Okay, great. So it's going to be 3 damage. He's helping. Helping. 3 damage is good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already down, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, I'm gonna at least try to get it so you're like 15 and a half feet away.
Okay, better put you in there. Oh. Okay, poses. One for Instagram later.
Oh, yeah.
Get in there.
Especially when you go on Instagram.
With Look, he rushes in, preparing his dagger, taking sight with his massive fish eyes. He uses acuity to focus in upon and hurls mightily, the dagger sailing away, streaking through the branches and brambles, very similar to Lux's technique. It strikes true against the troll's carapace for 3 damage. The troll looks over towards, sights upon Blup, and Blup loops. At which point the camera pans over to Baracus.
Is Toma more than 15 feet away from me while the troll is 15 feet at least?
The bigger question is, do you want to step into the
Toma is adjacent to the troll.
Please know what you're thinking.
Has anybody healed you?
What's that?
Has anybody healed you?
No. No one's gotten close to me yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the
pretty
closest
spread out
one and I
still.
don't have any
Yeah,
way to heal.
just making sure.
Because,
Do you have a potion of any kind? I thought you did.
no, I don't.
Do you have a potion?
No.
You know.
No one says.
No one has a potion.
So, I just need to
You'd
be
think
sure
I'd
with
have a
it.
potion.
You would think.
He's outside 15
You didn't think
foot.
about
Truth
zone,
be,
right?
you have a whole bunch of troll fat.
You can definitely avoid hitting him with this cone if that's what you're doing.
Yeah, okay, but I'll still hit the
Trolls
other guy.
have
So,
inherent regeneration.
Yeah, if you don't hit them with fire, they're regenerating
So if
pretty
you
hard.
could eat it and heal himself? That
As
would-
an expert in this sort of thing, you know you can't feed it to him. It wouldn't take effect fast enough. And you're racking your mind, maybe. Are you thinking about it? You want to roll medicine on it?
Yes,
I'm attacking him, the troll with burning hands.
Sounds good.
Good choice.
The camera pans against Baracus for the brief moment as his eyes suddenly flare orange.
15.
With a... Is it a targeted attack, or I have to roll a save, I thought?
I thought it was save half.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it will move, so.
You got a 4 on your medicine check. You're racking hard, but nothing comes to mind. You know that you could use it to regenerate a bug patch, but how do you get it to suture a wound? How do you make it work with him? His dragonborn genealogy. You're not quite sure.
Okay.
I want to continue.
So,
Come on.
15 damage then?
Well, next
Or
turn.
was that a
Next turn.
hit roll?
Once a turn, then. With that said, though,
So you're gonna get down.
as you release a massive blast of flame from your hands, the troll stumbles backwards with a 7 plus 5 for 13 or 12 total, failing against your save.
Alright.
I'm pretty sure you have a 13 or 12.
I think it was
13?
I think it was 13, yeah.
Okay, terrific. With that said,
4,
you release the tape magic.
5, 11,
Nice.
13.
Yeah, which is essentially 23 because it shuts off his regeneration for a round. You still have a movement, by the way.
Yeah. Which is to get the fuck out of there.
No, if you get the fuck out.
As your fistful of flame blasts against him.
So you can still cast a cantrip, can't you?
No, it's the other way around. You have to use the cantrip for the standard action, and then bonus action can be a level.
Shit, we should have done it the other way.
That said, though, you blast upon him. He shrieks in pain, stumbling backwards as the fountain of flame erupts from your palms and washes over him. As a river of it blasts again, silhouetting Toma's body down below. Despite your unconsciousness, you still feel some of that heat as it blasts against your toes, and you find yourself situated amidst your relatives. In honorable fashion, you situate yourselves around the table, preparing for a meal, a feast that stretches onward and onward, off into the darkness, or is that light as it fades upwards and shows all of your history ahead of you. And back over towards...
He's moving.
Yeah.
He's slipping through the trees and over here.
Okay, as Baracus recedes back through the trees, having blasted upon the troll,
Just make 2 death saving throws.
you have 1 death saving throw.
Oh, I only have
Remaining.
1 left.
Yeah, and then they're going to have to take you to a church.
So you gotta save the rally.
8.
It's already done.
I'll allow it.
Oh, I forgot we did that. Too bad. Do it again.
8.
I want to die.
As you look down at your history laid out on the table, you look to your right as your grandfather looks at you and says, "This is a beer. Welcome home."
Play your bagpipes.
Well,
Camera pans against Dysentera's face as she stands amidst the rocks. You hear a roar erupt from the trees. You see another set of wild turkeys make its way opposite
You
direction.
feel a disturbance in the force.
Something feels dark. Something's not right.
I think go 30 things from them, and I want to use what was it? Poison spray. I don't think you know the poison spray or infused
What's the range on that? Because you got kind of a cliff that you can come to the edge
So
of.
you're right about
but
here.
You can get.
With the double movement thing, I'll let you get down to the trees. So from there, your poison spray, I'm pretty sure will reach, because is it 10 feet or 30 feet?
10 feet.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
too
yeah.
many movements.
No, let me see this. If it's 30 feet with double, it's literally going to be
You want to try to jump down the cliff?
So like I said, without even a mulligan, you can legit make it to 10 feet.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, if I used that as a second. Right.
Yeah, I'll slide down.
That is some serious.
Maybe it's
slap.
12 feet, yeah. It's not much of a mulligan. It's not much of a mulligan. So there you go. You slide down towards where you heard the ruckus, and coming towards the edge of the trees, you see Toma with his throat torn from him, and a bloodied troll standing over top, with a massive gaping hole where its chest sinks in the shape of a massive
Slightly
palm.
cauterized.
Oh, I'm pissed. So I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna burp right in his face like the most giant gross burp.
Alright? As best you can produce, you release a massive spray towards him. The troll looks towards you with a crit one, as the green spray splashes in layers one after the next. He sways back and forth, screaming out towards him as it burns down into his throat. How much damage is that? 12? 12 total?
Is it full damage?
You
Fail.
I'll allow double damage. We'll go there.
Okay.
So roll me 2. What is it, D8 or D6 or what?
D12.
It's D12?
Yeah.
And poison spray? Wow.
Or, how about 8?
Inspiration!
What is going on?
We'll go with 8.
We'll go with 8. 8's the final answer.
For damage?
Yeah.
You get to just roll 2d12. That's what you get to roll.
That was
2d12 is 8? Oh!
Yeah.
Fuck, I hate d12s.
Yeah. Could have been good.
There's so much potential there. Alright, as you splatter against him with all your might, despite everything, your heart heavy, your stomach empty, all of you drained at the edge of this slope, all you can muster is still not enough. As the troll stands there, Puddlestein leaps from you, rushing forward. The kitty cat runs up and leaps upon the troll. Before you know it, ow! Oh my god! With a 19 plus bonus, Puddlestein jumps up and splashes into the troll's eyes. As the troll rallies backwards and grasps towards Puddlestein, he easily, who's giving him inspiration? Actually, the DM is giving Puddlestein inspiration.
Yay!
And with an 11 plus bonus, Minister Puddlestein easily leaps past, over the head of the troll, down his back end as he swats at his face. The troll bashes himself for a few damage. As he stumbles to the side, Mr. Puddlestein runs away and disappears off to the side somewhere. With that, the camera
As he
pans.
tries to not smash your.
Sorry, where were we just now? From the Centera over to Leandra.
Yes. I'm going
He's
to.
about to be a Puddlestein.
Will you allow me to double move and then the orc?
Sorry,
There's
so
a lot of
move
crap in
and
the way.
Double move and then hit him with the hooves.
passing through the trees as it is difficult terrain. So
And
this
going
is
around would be.
Please remember I'm on your back.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, going around would be a possibility, but that's gonna eat into.
So for the ease of simplicity, you'll make it to about here on a double movement.
What? Really?
Yeah, through the difficult terrain. No, sorry, you're 60 feet of movement. My bad. So you make it here on a double movement, and then this is your other movement.
Yeah.
It's heading into the trees here. And you make
So
it
if
to
you
about
go
here.
around.
If I go around, does that make a difference?
It's supposed to be all thickness, but like I said to Taryn, I don't have enough trees really. Besides, the visibility is a thing. You gotta see it.
I'm gonna move in right there then.
Okay. Rushing with radiant shade, bashing through the branches and brambles, You, Miss O'Shea, can make me a riding check. Do you have a riding proficiency?
Is riding a thing?
Riding is a thing.
Just shit.
No skill.
It only matters when it matters, but riding is a thing. And so is driving, like a ship, a cart, anything. Proficiency matters. Otherwise, it's just strength.
Okay, so what skill am I looking for?
Literally just strength in this case.
Oh, just strength.
Sometimes people take it as a feat, you know.
My strength is 0.
Roll me a 20. Get over 12. Well, 12 or better.
Hold on tight.
Oh, 6.
It hit the other die.
Yeah, I hit the other die.
Who wants to go for inspiration?
I don't have any inspiration.
Inspiration for you.
Can he still inspire from the grave?
I already
You
gave my
already did.
inspiration.
Oh. Get your grandpa to do it.
It's a 9.
Oh.
In the face! You take a branch directly.
Oh,
As
great.
Leandra gallops off, you land in the dirt and rock for 4 damage,
Damn.
having
Not actually
taken
that bad,
a
given-
pine tree to the face. As you land on the ground, your bagpipes make a low noise.
Would you
over
say
to-
4 damage?
Yeah.
4, yeah.
Over
It's
to
not
my
actually that bad when you think about what that hit is.
over to myself from Leandra. Are you doing anything else? You're heading into the trees
That's all I
here.
can do.
So you're about here-ish.
Yes, I'm right on top
As
of
you-
that tree.
As you crash into the trees yonder, the troll whips about to look towards you, and then, sighting towards the openings, sees Dyson Terra, and then looks out towards where Baracus and Lux reside, and rushes after Baracus.
He doesn't like fire.
Leaping over and through the branches and trees, he comes to within a few feet and takes his first slash. With an 18 plus bonus, his second slash at 15 plus, and as he goes to chew in, Lux manages to distract him. So he rolls 2 plus. Hey fucker! Over here! I can't remember what the line is. He didn't say fucker in Jurassic Park, but anyway. With an, 11 and 11, I should roll it actually. That'd be nice of me. Otherwise it's 22 damage and I'm pretty sure that ends anybody here.
Well, I mean,
Most
kind of.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna tiptoe behind the trees now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Trolls hit you like a truck. It's all about kiting them and burning them down fast. Uh-oh.
14 points of slashing damage rakes against the tiefling, who recoils backwards next to Lux, as Lux does his best
rebuke!
to struck. And suddenly,
Burning.
what are you giving me? Give me all you got.
I just gotta.
God
He's a
damn.
warlock.
He's a warlock.
Yeah.
Burn it good.
So. 10. Yeah, creature just makes a
Or like
hit
I
point and go
straight
boom.
up or like
And surrounded by house flames, creature must make dex saving throw.
I'm gonna fail that.
Alright, so 2d10.
Trolls are not very dexterous.
And 2. For 4 damage, apparently.
Still fire. Right?
Fire.
That is important, is it?
Yeah, it's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so. Ooh. Okay, yeah, no, never mind.
Where's this rod of polymorph
Oh.
coming from?
Sorry, one more D. I got one more D. For an extra 3, so 7 total.
7 points.
Yeah. And I got hit for 22.
He is actually 75. It's 10 up. Good mulligan. You know what? From the impact and everything, would have generated, but you guys have been hitting with fire. Regenerated. Fuck it. As you blast upon him, he stumbles backwards and drops over.
Oh, shit. I only had 20 hit points, so yeah. Because you said I got hit for 22?
No. I said you could get hit for 22.
Oh.
I hit you for 14 now
14.
because I rolled it.
Okay.
I can take the average or I can just roll it. Either way.
Okay, I'll go with.
Alright, that makes sense.
I'm taking the head off.
Alright, Lux moves in fast as his feet can carry him to cleave the head off of the troll. O'Shea, technically you have a turn right now,
Oh.
so you're recovering yourself, I assume, from where you were knocked off over here. You can hear Lux suddenly cleave at something in one fell swoop. The sound of the blade cutting against the troll in the distance. You manage to take it off in one go. As a lot of you see this, you hear at the edge of the trees something wicked this way comes.
Yeah, looking for the wyvern now.
Shit. I'm not ready for this shit.
Currently brandishing both my short swords.
Just want to make sure I get the sound right here.
Decapitate the troll.
And get that a little lower.
This is the end of the campaign.
Well, we don't have a meat shield right now. Remember that. Oh, damn it.
The massive form of the troll comes into view ahead of Lady O'Shea. As you look to your left, pulling brambles out of your hair, you see this massive hulking figure suddenly appear. When suddenly, from above,
Oh, cinematic.
Oh yeah, you go for both from there?
the wyvern growls at the figure low, and upon its back you see the knight holding the reins. At which point, he gives a slap to the back of the wyvern, and it chomps down on the troll, bringing it to the ground. As the knight simply just watches you from where he sits, the wyvern goes to town on the troll, tearing it apart, piece by piece, in front of you. From there, the camera pans over to Blup. Blup.
Well,
At the moment.
Dyson Terra watches his Blup.
Yeah.
Blup. 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 And he heads off towards the edge over here, disappearing against the trees. You can see his gray figure standing, just peering. When he looks back towards you, wide-eyed. You can hear his voice low against the chomping and chewing echoing away. Camera pans to Baracus. You watch as the troll falls away behind. Your flaming hands. What'd you hit him with? Your Arcanic?
It was.
Yeah, I hit him with
your Energy Blast there.
Flaming
Eldritch?
Yeah. Did you hit him with Eldritch?
No, I hit him with
Flaming hand.
It
Burning
It
hand.
was Burning Hand.
Hellish Rebuke.
Oh, that's right, Hellish Rebuke. Thank you. That's why I was mixed up. As the lot of you slowly cools down like a jet turbine releasing heat,
Okay.
slowly your cloak stops billowing.
Yeah,
You
that's
rest
true.
where
We
you
need
stand.
a whole lot of stuff.
You look towards where Toma lays, and you think to yourself, one of the big cities would have enough of a church to take care of that. 100 gold, we could probably get a priest to raise him.
Just trying to see if I've got anything that might help.
No, literally, you can just... Well, it's actually 1,000 gold, plus service fees. Yeah.
And body.
To raise the dead? Seriously?
No. Okay, well, we're selling the troll fat. We get
We
Toma
need to
back
get-
to life.
Yeah, but we need to get the body out of here.
Something tells me as though Toma from the grave. I grab the staff and jam it into the wound.
Alright, you know what? I'm gonna play this through. But Lady O'Shea's like way over the fuck there. You know what?
Okay, no,
You know what?
do that.
I'm just gonna mulligan this. You can have the staff currently. We're gonna go
It
with
just
that.
floats to you.
You just had it the whole time,
Yeah.
right? When he's around, he's got the staff. You know how it is.
That's fine.
He holds the remote. He's got the staff, man. Anyway, so that said, whoa, he's there. He was gonna play you a song as you jam the rod into Toma's hole.
Yes, that's exactly
So
what I
as
was
you
doing.
brandish the mad rod and jam it into the hole on Toma, and like you're literally jamming it into his throat. And so the corpse of him just, and one eye kind of lolls in its socket as you do this, and quite literally like. But then something does happen. That sword you had, as you're sitting there, and your grandfather's telling you about this time on Apier, when the giants came over the hill, and all your people rose up all of them together as one, and they took those giants down, and he's regaling all this, and he's up, and people are cheering from like a mile down the fucking table. You can hear their voices, I remember that! Someone's yelling back from there's a dragon, right? And so, as this is all occurring, you suddenly watch as the white light of everything goes gray, dim, and then black. And as this occurs, you hear an inky driplet of something in the distance as a wickedness seems to come over everything around you.
Oh, shit. That was real fucking creepy.
Well, that's why I'm not allowed to be a clown for Halloween.
Yes. Please don't.
I'm going to be Pennywise for Halloween.
No. Not around us. We might die. Everything close.
You hear the echoing dripping all around you, and you hear a voice that says, "You'd make a perfect vessel. Empty, honorable, ready." And you hear a clinking of chains, and you hear the soft whimperings of humanoid children, and the clanking of chains.
Tiger Jasper?
But then suddenly, something else echoes against and says, "Accept that which tempts, and I will turn from you altogether. I shall take you from your family. I shall cast you away. Or take my gift, and I shall see you alive and well to be my champion." And everything goes white and light, and you can see the silhouettes of all your family on that stretched table. And you can see pinpoints of color amidst them. And the voice continues, "Members of your history were known for it. You are destined for this." And a moment later, the clanking of chains echoes against it, and all goes dark once again.
I suppose.
A couple voices ring out, "Don't take him! Help us, please!"
Live, Jeremy! Live!
Poke him in the eye with the staff down.
I'll go with the living again. I'll listen to the white light from the sword.
With that, everything goes bright light again, and the voices of all your family seem to echo for just a moment, but muffled this time, before suddenly you're drawn from where you're situated next to them, pulled away, like that scene in Thor Ragnarok, but in reverse. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where he's in a seat screaming? Okay, well anyway, your seat's suddenly pulled away from the dining table. The figures of all your family disappearing away as you are drawn and sucked off into the white. Right, as I was saying. And then a splash of spirit.
Oh baby, you're sucking me off into the white.
As the staff is suddenly blasted from Baracus's hands, it flies away from the wound. The wound that now glows bright white hot. Words. The staff flies away and lands in the mud nearby as your eyes snap open. But as they do, they glow silver for a brief second and then begin to fade back to their color. What was your alignment before?
What's that?
What was your alignment before?
I think it was like lawful neutral.
You're lawful good now.
Oh.
You didn't have to accept either gift, just saying.
Alright. I'm alive?
But you did save the group 1,200 gold, I'm just saying.
Alright.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you get to keep all your troll fat. That's not bad. That's a good deal, I think. You know, he's lawful good, gotta follow God's path now, but we'll get to that later.
Exactly.
Right. Having accepted holy destiny.
Like church, they're pretty
You were kind of on the path before, but you had turned away from the light. You know, now's your second chance. So I think that's good. I think that's good. We'll see where this takes you. With that said, though, your eyes snap open, having glowed silver for a brief second. Your alignment, lawful good now. As you look up towards the sky, you can see the clear, orange, turning black sky welcome you back into this world, Tyrell. You breathe anew. You have 1 hit point.
What the shit?
Alright, I just stand up and put my sword away.
That is literally my character's reaction, by the way.
Okay, fair enough. Baracus, your rod is now about 60 feet away.
Don't save Jasper now?
Having jammed itself into the ground, it sits.
Bitch, I'm immortal.
Actually, we'll put it on the
Okay.
What a nice stick.
I'm immortal. As
Well,
Fall Boy Immortal plays in the background.
Somebody comes up and stabs you. I'm not immortal! I'm not immortal!
God damn it!
You need to convince the fish guy that we're gods.
Yeah,
I am a god.
I just brought someone back to life.
that's true.
I am a god.
So your hands, I want to mention, they hurt. Having, never mind having this rod blasted out of your hand, but just from the sheer intensity of whatever just happened in there, it's kind of like when you stick your finger in between 2 electrical contacts and you get that numbing pain that shoots between you.
Let him stick it in the
Light socket, yeah.
Pretty much, that sort of thing is exactly what you just experienced, and the fork flew. So, as it were, the fork's now over there in the path, smoldering still, and as you look at your hands, somewhat blackened from that experience, and you look at Toma as his eyes finish glowing, and he gets up, dusting himself off, and you hear Lux go, "What the fuck?" His voice echoing through the trees. You hear the sudden roar of the wyvern in the pathway as it tears into the troll some further. The knight still just staring at Lady O'Shea, resolute and stoic, as the Kuatoa blurps, "Who does what?"
I grab the daggers, both mine and blurps, and beat the hell out of here.
Okay. As this all occurs and you rush out into the road, the knight sights the staff. And you can immediately see it, Lady O'Shea, as his head just goes, and he smacks the wyvern and it just perks up. And it looks back and forth, and he leans forward and points towards it. And he says something guttural and low in his helmet.
I run to the staff.
The troll, limp on the ground and torn asunder, sits still, laying completely inert. But Lady O'Shea, you notice something as you stare at that torn up troll. It is slowly suturing itself back together. Dead as dead can be, it's still getting itself back together. And you remember fire or acid, anything to stop it. But until then, nothing is stopping it. So with that said, it bolts, heading off towards you. Oh, I should get the knight out, but we're at the time we are, so we're moving along. From there, sorry. Baracus, Desentera, you were next.
Okay, yeah.
And looks, you do have your dagger. You did all that, that's fine.
And I have Luck's dagger as well.
Okay, cool.
So, in total, I have 5 daggers right now.
Fantastic.
I'm a weapons store.
Yeah. You open up in the shop.
Gonna shoot firebolt right at the troll.
Okay. You gotta roll firebolt.
Sorry. 19.
19? Fabulous roll. Damage. D6, I believe.
4.
And with that... Oh wait, goes firebolt. Splashing against the troll, he shrieks out in pain, of course. No, that's the wrong sound. And I said the sewer go, damn it. Shrieks out in pain, that's better. Sorry, for... How much damage did you say?
4.
4 damage, 4 damage. 79 points that he's up to. As he stumbles... Sorry.
Wrong?
As the weaver... What am I doing? Hey, hi, how you doing? Sorry, my bad. As he stumbles backwards to the... stumbles to the side. Man alive. Hi, get back with it. Changing gears. The firebolt sailing out from the trees past the Kuatoa. The Kuatoa stands stoic as in the trees as the reflection of the firebolt sails past him. Striking into the wyvern stumbles to the one side as it charges down the lane. Leandra, you watch as the firebolt splashes into the opposition as you, situated in the copse of trees, look towards Toma, now standing up, dusting himself off. Lady O'Shea, some distance behind you, stands staring at the scene.
Somebody wants to be able to pick it up.
I mean,
it up.
I got 2 fucking options. How far can wyverns move?
Weavers can move not too fast on the land, actually, but he looks pretty clumsy, I think, as he's running. It's doing its best, yeah. It's like hop, jumping, and gliding.
Yeah.
Because it was on the ground chewing into the dude, right?
Right. And Lux, you're over there?
Yeah, I'm over next to the staff.
Okay, great.
Just walking on
So,
the cake.
Yeah, I moved 20 feet on that. So I literally hopped my full distance there.
Stick
Stick
downhill gliding.
technically there. Ish.
I'm gonna rush over to Toma,
Or
and I'm going to transfer back into a elf.
Sounds good.
How many many lodges?
Okay, where's my mini?
George doesn't get it.
It is right here. And in you pop.
Hell yeah. And I am going to cure wounds with my second spell slot.
You're so kind.
And
Cheap death.
We ever back to life?
where did my D6 go?
It's by the mic.
It's underneath your thing.
Oh, thank you. I don't even need this. I need a D8.
Random.
Ooh, 8. 7.
7.
Plus 3. 18.
18 total damage.
18 total healing damage.
Oh, sorry, 18 total healing. Very good.
Slash the damage.
Unless he's undead, in which case you really killed him.
Yeah.
Negative damage is the word. Very good.
Damage.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
With that said, you reach out into the ether, grab a hold of your deity strength, and
Oh, yeah, well, we got 6 hit points left. Alright.
Oh no.
your runes suture themselves together, your bones mend, and the lot of you feels 100% better. No, that doesn't work. I'm looking for a random polymorph table, sorry.
You're right next to the staff, anyways, right?
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
She shouted for me to pick it up, so
Please pick it up.
I haven't done a
please.
turn since.
Alright. So we'll have to just turn him into something. I don't know. But, that said, as you head out towards it, that's what you said you were doing there? Sorry,
Well,
who's going here?
Now that someone's already going, as much as I want to grab it,
Leandra did her.
Leandra did her transformation, that was an action, and then you're not moving. You are moving?
She did move.
I
You did
moved,
move.
and
Oh, you
then
did move. I thought, oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You're over here.
She
You
jumped,
Very good.
transformed,
Sorry, my
and
bad.
healed.
And with that, you go stomping through the woods,
As the horse did a front flip and like magical energies.
like McGonagall out of Harry Potter.
Yeah, exactly.
Appearing before, it is over to you. Myself, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
At which point,
Sure.
because we did you, and then Toma, and then had a cinematic, and then it was through this and Terra, and we moved down the line.
oh yeah,
So-
no,
This guy's gonna. Here we are. You can jump. Here you go. You can jump down the line. Say here. And as he does this, the knight on the back simply stares ahead at Lux as the wyvern leaps forward. Like a massive, leathery, visceral cockatiel headed towards its food. I had a dream. Over to O'Shea. This thing continues to congeal itself back together. As you watch upon it. Did somebody?
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that. That's right, you totally did. My apologies. You look over towards it and see the sizzled remains not congealing back together.
Oh, that's great. So
You
is
see-
it dead?
It's barbecue dead, yes.
Okay, so it's
Yay.
dead.
Good and dead. Well done. Also 5 experience.
Ah, excellent.
Let's see. Damn, I wasn't supposed to go back.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I don't like about the Beyond app. Which you press the back button, it takes you right back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing I find with using the tablets not so bad because like you can see more at once. So you
Yeah.
don't do that
Okay.
by accident.
That's why I just whipped it.
Actually, I'm gonna retract that. You know what? He's gonna be tactical here. He's gonna look around, see the situation, and fly away.
What?
He is. He's gonna fly away 80 feet,
Get out.
and it's gonna fade to black.
No.
Because it's 10 to 10.
Shit.
Yeah. Time management.
Okay, I accept.
That's what it is.
Control, so that's good.
So, that said, we will continue next session.
Alright, shall we harvest the bodies?
Next session. In the meantime, Shannon, what'd you like, what'd you hate, what'd you hurt, what'd you least? It was such a convincing performance. What can I say? I was taken. And you are Leandra to me.
It's true.
Right.
My favorite part, I don't know. Like I just liked the involvement in the session. Like I thought it was good, and the fact of Toma partially dying shook me to my core, and that was fantastic.
I don't die. Legends never die.
You will always come back.
Yep.
There's always a church that's willing to take $1,500.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. Very good.
My least favorite part is my butt sticking to a chair.
Fair enough.
That was painful.
I'm glad that was solvable.
Yes.
With that said, Taryn, what'd you like, what'd you hate, what's your part, what's your best?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of not here right now. I'm kind of tuned out.
I feel ya. Gravity's off, eh?
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah, no, I get that totally. All the iron's the other way in your head. I know.
Yeah,
It's
that
off
sounds
kilter.
good.
Fair enough.
Both of those situations.
Fair. Well, I appreciate you sticking it out.
Yeah.
You're done.
No worries.
What was your favorite part?
I honestly don't know. I don't know what my favorite part was.
Fair enough.
It was fine.
Alright. But man, what'd you like? What'd you hate? What's your part? What's your least?
On the good side, the cinematic of bringing Toma back and the way you handled it in terms of the story elements and the way it was played out was really interesting.
Cheers.
The combat was good. The layout was really nice. I felt like the descent from the mountain was a little bit random in the effects and the presentation of the information at the time. It was a little unclear what was going on, and
I was a little unclear on how I was going to start out. Yeah.
risk benefit
totally was.
Felt like it was very arbitrary on that.
It was just to get you down. Yeah, it totally was. You called it, yeah. I'll admit it. I cheaped it out. I phoned it in.
Yeah, and like what was going on in terms of I just completely lost track of what was going on with the Koatoa and waiting versus not, and the wyvern, and I just
no, but seriously,
I had a lot of trouble getting mental imagery.
My issue with it was getting it backwards off the hop, and then forgetting the chick in the beginning. That's about it. The intro. But yeah. No, the intro was I was trying to get all the various elements across, but I hadn't thought it through on how I wanted to deliver all that. I just wanted to get it down the mountain.
So take a picture of the board right now, so you don't forget any of the elements coming into the next round.
Yeah, I was thinking top
we got
down
a few
and
things.
side
We
to
got
sides.
one charbroiled, one headless, one staff sitting in the mud.
Yeah.
It's a good scene.
And, yeah. Onward. You okay?
What was I? Sorry, yeah, brain fart. I just
Do you want him to say the thing again, or are you just gonna get into it? We know
Let's
what
do it. Sorry. Oh my God, Jen, what'd you like? What'd you hate? What was your birthday? What was your biggest? I am just all over the place ever since. Yeah.
I like how you brought him back by you stabbing. I'm gonna poke your dead body with this thing. You're like, I'll run with it. That's awesome.
Powerful magics.
Least favorite part?
Slow start.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
that it was great.
Mark, what'd you like? What'd you hate? Sport with the Big G.
I just liked that I was able to play again. But I didn't like that I didn't get to use my mage hand because I was going to grab the reins.
Oh, fair enough, actually.
The reins of a
Or
creature?
the wyvern. As he goes by, grab the reins.
Steer him down on the ground.
Make him go head first.
I'd be curious to know whether that would work.
I think it's 20 feet of 20 pounds of force.
30 and
There you go. So,
But
I think I'd allow that. That'd be enough.
range, it's not against held
It's 60 feet, I'm
objects and
pretty
things
sure,
like that.
for
So
range.
there's certain
Okay.
specific things in the text where I would question
Point
if
being,
that would work. But
could do it.
it would be cinematically awesome.
That'd be cool, yeah.
30 feet.
I have mage hand as well, and I
Yes.
just didn't think that it.
I like the catapult, the John McClane thing he did. Jeremy, what was your favorite part? What did you blah?
Didn't like dying. That was no
Fair enough. Yeah, that was emotional.
I like coming back though.
That was cool. That was epic.
I like the delivery on that. So
right on.
Yeah.
Me when I like what did blah blah blah. I like the session. It did feel random in the beginning because again, like I said, it was a bunch of information that I was trying to get across, and I hadn't thought too much about how I was going to do that. So the presentation's always rough on that. I'll take full time on that. And then favorite part was the resurrection and having a legitimate reason to do that. Actually, it's cool. At the end of the day, I'm never going to shy away from ending somebody. Monsters want to kill you. People don't really care, so a dude will drop you and walk away. People tend to not want to kill people unless you've made them angry, at which point they want you dead.
Yeah.
So there's rules there, but yeah, when it comes to it, it cheapens the game. So I'm not into that. So I'm glad that there was a legitimate reason to bring a character back, and it cinematically serves the story. And moves a character's arc along. So I think that's really the most important facet of it, is that it was legit. So I'm happy about that. But at the end of the day, like I said, $1,200, and sell a couple pounds of troll fat, you get Toma back, and a trip out to a bigger city, unless there's a wandering dude, which I was gonna odds or evens when you got back to town. You get back to town, and he might have a temp character. That's usually how it goes. And if anyone's wondering how I handle death, it's like, if you guys are going to resurrect the dude, that's one thing. I always leave it to the player. Yeah. At the end of the day. Because some players, they're like, yes, now I get to try out the, whatever recipe they came up with. And so some people like that.
So what's your system on that? Is it party minus one level, or how do you deal with
I let you just come back in, sometimes a level ahead. I'll play it easy mode with the homebrews because I tend to be more brutal about damage. Because I'll just send you the average, right? Like I was doing with him.
Yeah.
But then at times I'll chill out on it. So if somebody drops, I'll chill out. It's the game chilling out, so to speak. Like Left 4 Dead, if you ever played that. The AI in that does that. So it plays with the players on a scale to keep you engaged.
What's that Dungeon of Infinite Evils or whatever?
Does it do that too?
Well, no, I'm just thinking the method of just throw players' bodies till you fill up the pit so you can walk across. Just start.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
William, you're now Billiam. Zillium.
That was the Gamers 2, Darkness Rising. They go into an adventure they've played 1,000 times over. Their friends writing it, and they're playing it for the umpteenth time. So Buddy asks if he can roll up a bunch of characters in case one dies, and the DM says yeah. So it shows the guy sitting there with a bunch of his employees at his store, and the employees are writing down character sheets, copying one character sheet. And they say, when can we stop? And eventually it shows them at the table. And the group's playing, he dies, and he pulls another one out. Just pulls another one out, angry face, I've got another one, it's fine, keep going. And the DM asks, how many of those do you have? And the guy says, 50. And at one point they hide behind the pile of dead bards. It becomes a thing. So, anyway, watch that movie, The Gamers 2, really good movie. If you like what you see, we stream every Monday and Friday from 7 o'clock until whenever we finish. In this case, my man, 10 p.m. Boom! And thank you very much for watching. With my palette, my plethora of wonderful people as my players, it is my pleasure, once again, to have been your Dungeon Master. May your 20s always land on 20. Have a good night.